Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you were in. This is the Big Girl Diary. I like that instrumental. I just like that instrumental. Look, I got a good one for you today. I put a couple of questions down on the community section, and I basically posed two surveys, and I have to say, it was a good one because it was purposefully crafted in a way to where you really had to think about the behavior and say, which one? Which one? But even though I was like, hmm, huh. So, oh, I forgot to put the banner up. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. So, this we're going to be talking about Amber Heard and Evan Rachel Wood and Eve Barlow. I mean, two train wrecks and a passenger. Two train wrecks and a passenger. You just, this whole thing is a mess. But I really like the responses that I got. So let's go ahead and do the survey first because I thought it was a really interesting. Okay. Okay. Oh, I forgot to do my question. Where's my question at? Goodness gracious. Okay, let me do it like this. The question that I asked was, I don't want to try. Goodness, this is not good for me. Oh man. Okay, here. I asked, I have a serious question. Who would win first prize for being an international fool and wears the crown of fooldom? So here, what you have, this is all of your responses. First prize went to Amber Heard by lying on JD and thinking that he wouldn't fight back. She got 63%. Evan Rachel Wood, FBI's letter, and didn't think that Marilyn Manson would not fight back. She got 23%. And Eve Barlow taking Amber Heard to Israel and not thinking that she would have a WWE match in Israel. So, I mean, I thought that was interesting. But the responses are just, I make sure I didn't dox anyone. And the first person said, "Oh my God," immediately torn. And that is so true in my opinion, between Amber Heard and Evan Rachel Wood. I mean, just after deliberating, I went with Amber because she has provided many WTF, you fool, fooldom moments almost every week for years. And that is so true. The other person said, "It is too hard to choose. Too many fools cannot pick one, or cannot pick, or can you pick two?" Another person said, "It is a tie between Amber and Evan." Very true. Another person says, "My answer is yes to all of them. Fools is right." And the other survey that I did that I thought was, it just, what Eve did just blew my mind. After Amber's life has been put on Front Street, Amber's past and present behaviors and lie and lies have been displayed for everyone to see. her lies have been on trial and found liable to the tune of $10.3 million in damages to her ex-husband, Johnny Depp. With knowing, with everything known about Amber, did Eve Barlow really believe that Amber would be different with her? And 24% says yes, Eve Barlow's love would change Amber to be a better person. And 76% said no, Eve knew that Amber wouldn't change. She just wanted the publicity. So I thought that was quite interesting. And most definitely true. Most definitely true. I meant to do that. Yeah, so let me do a comment. Okay. Java the Cat said Amber's at 64% now because I just saw the poll. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, and that's a toss up. And that's what I wanted to discuss, to get into greater detail, because you have two train wrecks and one passenger. Actually, I just learned that Eve jumped ship with Amber. So she's going to go work on herself. So two train wrecks and one passenger. So, hi, Jessica. Okay. Okay. I'm late, but I'm here. Okay. Okay. All right. I hope, because I'm going to give time for you all to call up and to express what your thoughts are on the situation. And yes, the ambulance are coming through. I can't have a live stream without it. So loud. Okay, so now, Evan Rachel Wood, to me, in my opinion, is the progenitor of all this. I think she's the main person that put Amber Heard on a track that she was on. I can't prove it. It's just a thought that I have. I very well could be absolutely wrong. It's just a thought. Now, Evan Rachel Wood was, how can I say, beyond upset, because some of you may disagree, and that's okay. We all have opinions, and it's okay. We could agree to disagree. But I believe that since Lindsey got the ring and Amber didn't, not Amber, Evan didn't, she decided to go on destroy mode. Now, Amber, on the other hand, did find out that Johnny was cheating on her. And I mean, I just don't know why Amber didn't see that one coming, because she got, okay, let me leave that alone for now. But I'm sorry, back to Evan. I mean, Evan, if you go down the line, she has done so many foolish things on a ginormous, ginormous level, to where she included other people in her foolishness. And it seems like everyone who jumped into it is falling at the wayside. On one hand, no, not on one hand. Evan, I think, on so many ways broke laws, federal laws, international laws, laws. um, okay. Evan, um, at some point, and I don't want to rehash this over and over and over again, but I have to, got with Ilma Gore. And Ilma fell in love with her and decided, okay, um, Tahana says, I think she went on destroy mode for several reasons. And yeah, she did. Uh, freshly married, and yeah, she most definitely did go on destroy mode. She did, because she didn't get the ring. Now, Lindsey, I got an Instagram to where Evan, oh goodness, Marilyn Manson was with Lindsey back in 2010 and 2011, between that time period. And then what, 10 years later, comes back and marries her. And then comes back and marries her. I mean, that right there is like salt on a wound, because they were engaged twice and she didn't get the, not centered correctly, but she didn't get the ring or to go down the aisle. Then she turns around in another video that I did. She turns around and she goes to the police saying that Lindsey was harassing her. I don't know. I have no idea on that one. Then all of a sudden, this FBI letter and all this stuff comes up about the the graping. I can't say what I want to say. Um, she gets graped, dropped a G, and she gets S abused. She gets DV'd. All these things that Marilyn Manson did, but when you go back, you'll see how he was this great person. I meant to put that up. Great person, and he was loving towards her, and all these different things that he was towards her that came out of her mouth or in writing through interviews. Now all of a sudden that he's a demon from HE double hockey stick. It's, to me, it's pure jealousy, pure anger, and vindictiveness, and want to get back at him. But in the previous video, I stated was that if he were to say, "Okay, Lindsey, I'm dropping you. I'm just forget about it. I'm going to go back to Evan." Because Evan is the one that I really want to be with. I made a mistake. Believe me, she would drop everything and run back to Maryland real fast. Like, so silly. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I missed these. Tahana says she claimed to file a harassment report, and you can find the report. Yeah. The police report was on file that she filed it, but I do need to find the actual written report. Thank you. I will do that. Thank you. Jessica says, I feel like Lindsey probably had some words with Evan. I'm pretty sure she did. I'm pretty sure. And they were probably unwarranted, and Evan probably had did some ugly things. Yeah, I really do think that, because at some point, if and this happens because women are very territorial, especially if there was a breakup and the woman isn't finished. He isn't out of her system, and she's going to keep on going back. And I do believe that Evan Rachel would. And thank you, that was a good point. Evan Rachel did go and have words with Lindsey. It happens all the time. It happens all the time, most definitely. Now, Amber Heard. Wait a minute, let me. And then Evan brings her friends into it, having Ilma call all of his exes. I have this. Marilyn Manson is doing this. I took out. He's being investigated by the FBI. Blah blah blah, because he did this and this and this and this to me. Yes, he did. Call him. Yeah, he did this to me. Yes, he did. Uh-huh. And how was he with you? Because he did this to me, and I want to make sure that he pays. And Marilyn's like, well, Estimate's like, well, I left England. I came over here. I was married. I came over here, and I moved in with him. And I'm thinking I'm going to have a relationship. We shot the video. Oh, and he trafficked me. Oh, he did this. He did that. Yeah, I'm on board. I want to sue too. Tahana says, uh, the pictures that Lindsey said she would have released. were ones yeah, as the Nazi, yeah. Ugh. And and then all the women are like, okay, I'm gonna jump on board because he did this to her. I'm gonna help her. Doesn't work like that. It really doesn't, especially if he didn't do it. And he didn't do it because the words are falling apart, but I don't want to get too far into that. Now, Amber Heard, Amber's a complete mess. A complete mess. And her, she just started from day one. And it's being said that she told her sister that she was out to destroy him. For what reason? I have no idea. I don't know what happened in that head for her to decide, okay, Johnny Depp, I'm going to destroy him, only him, and he's the only one in the world I'm going to destroy. He can't make this stuff up. And then all of a sudden, his finger is somewhere over there, and glass is over there, and all this wild stuff is all. And then she goes and tells this ginormous fib, the Me Too movement, and she joins in, turns out to be a lie. Same with Evan Rachel Wood. But knowing all this, now the passenger, the, the two train wrecks, now the passenger. The passenger, Eve, was always there in the background. She was a music writer. She wrote music. I'm sorry, not she didn't write music, but she was a music reporter. And she was in the background, like, oh, okay, I want Amber, but I'm going to stay in the background until I'm able to achieve my goal. And she did. When Amber was in trial, she was right there, tweeting, just doing whatever she could to get her called out there. Sorry about that. I meant to turn my phone off. So, speaking of phones, does anyone want to call in and give what they think? Would anyone like to call in or come up and talk about what you think about this topic? Okay, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, you could call in or come up and say your piece as far as who you think wins the crown of the fooldom and Eve's portion, because now Eve is in the win. Now she just ran away from Amber Heard, just ran haul tailed. Would anyone like to call in or come up? I'm sure I have the phone. Call in or come up, and because Eve leaving, do you think Amber would be able to stay in Israel, or will she be back in the States soon? Because I found that quite interesting when she left. She just left her. She's up and left. I mean, after having that kind of row like that, I would leave too. Okay. Now we know who's the winner between Evan Rachel Wood and Amber Heard won that. Hands down, she won the Fooldom Award. And and unfortunately, Eve Eve was the prize in that. Now, I have to be honest. I thought my personal thoughts. Not only that did I think that Eve was manipulative in this. Oh, additional information. To my understanding, what caused the blow up in Israel, not blow up, but what caused the altercation in Israel between Eve and Amber Heard was that Amber Heard found out that Eve was a big Kate Moss fan, and that just and she has no love for Kate Moss whatsoever. She really added the icing to the cake in Amber Heard's trial. So I don't know how true that is, but that's the information that was coming out that Eve was a huge Kate Moss fan. And the way Amber Heard went after Eve with that type of anger, I don't know. I truly don't know. Truly, I don't. But it's quite interesting. It's very interesting. So, um, but Eve Barlow. Back to my thoughts on her. Eve Barlow. I think Eve Barlow tried to manipulate the situation because Amber has all this stuff on her plate. She got sued by her ex-husband. Um, I'm learning that Australia is still investigating whether if they want to press charges against Amber for bringing her two dogs in, and I do understand why. When you bring dogs from anybody and any dogs from one place to another, you have certain things in one place that another place doesn't have, and that can cause, even though it's a dog, true, but it can cause problems in their industry because they have a lot of export going on. And I get it. I do get it. But to me, it seemed like that Eve was like, I have a situation. I got her under control. I have this. I have that. I am her point person. I'm her PR. I'm out here doing all this stuff for her. And putting this out and this out. And she did mess up pretty big a couple of times. But then Kate Moss, being a big fan, might have been too much for Amber. I don't know. But it's just a thought. Now, let me see. And then, yeah, I sort of jumped ahead of that. As far as the altercation between Amber Heard and Eve Barlow, pretty well could have been about her learning about Kate Moss. Now, within all of this, what I meant to put down was this big news about Ray J. And I said this in another video that Kim Kardashian, she's getting sued a lot. And now she's back telling these stories about the sex tape again, resurfacing. And AJ comes out swinging. Not AJ, Ray J comes out swinging. He says, "Oh, no, no, I got children. You have children. You're putting this out there. My mom, my sister thinks I'm some trash, and I'm not. And you're putting this out there again." He said, "I haven't spoken to you in 17 years, and you're still doing this? You're still doing this? 17 years later?" Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Jessica says, uh, Eve just a thought, she could have changed Amber. You really think so? You think she could have changed Amber? Consider Amber really loved her. But okay, do you really think that Eve could have changed Amber? I don't. I personally. Okay, how can I say this? How can I say this? I think. mm, I think that there has to be something within Amber that is ready to really receive someone to really not only love but to receive love and to love someone to the point that where you don't want to hurt them. Then you're going to change what is within you to be more loving to that person. I just don't think that Amber. I think Amber's level of entitlement and I don't know. Just watching her on stage when I think somebody passed and she's sitting there laughing and making a joke. It was weird. It was really weird. Um, I thought that was really weird. But as far as I don't know. Right there's a real tough one. That is really tough because abused people stay in a relationship thinking that if they love the person who's abusing them more, that they would be a better person, that they would change. But that has to come from within them, the person who's doing the abusing, to want to change. I don't know. You very well could be right, but I don't know. That's a little toss up, for me. Evelina, how you doing from Finland? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for dropping by. Jessica says, I don't think Amber loved her at all. No one can change her. Yeah, just like with Johnny, watching her in the courtroom while Johnny was talking, saying, "Yes, Johnny Depp. Well, not I, Johnny Depp, but Johnny was. I was abused too." And the way she was looking at him, it was a cross between, no, that wasn't me, even though it was me, but it wasn't me that actually did that. A cross between, yeah, I don't want you leaving me because I don't want to be alone. So many different things that was out there. Um, Jessica says, yeah, she loved what people can do for her. Now yeah, that right there was, I believe, most definitely to be true, especially when she was getting her car fixed by a guy that Johnny worked with, and some kind of antique cars or whatever, and then she's there just yelling at the guy, and then want Johnny to pay. That is wild. That is completely wild. But back, I don't know, cross between Amber loving Eve and Eve being able to change Amber because Amber loved Eve. I don't know. To Amber just uses people to get what she wants, and that's what she does. I don't know. That right there's a big toss up. It could be a combination of both. I don't know. I truly don't know. That is that is a good one. But wait a minute. You said okay, she loves what people can do for her. Okay, yeah, I already saw that one. Yeah, very interesting. But Kim Kardashian, she has a lot coming down. Now there's a meme out there about Kim Kim Kardashian, the party is over. I'm thinking, wow. Shauna, Shauna, Shauna. Sorry about that. Yeah, and now Kim Kardashian, the party is over. And actually you can throw Kim into this lump. You you can throw Kim Kardashian into the lump. because she has done the same thing, I think, for about 20 some odd years, to where she would use people. Actually, she married, what is that guy's name that played on, help me out here. The guy who played on Twilight, the werewolf, Sean, no, I think his name started with an L. Shauna, close the door. No, stay in there. I can't remember his name. Um, he played the werewolf. Um, she married him. I want to say Humphreys, but I know that isn't correct. I can't remember his name. Can somebody please help me? Taylor. Thank you, Taylor. Taylor. She married him for about what? A week. Stay there, Sean.
No, she choked on water.
Okay, just stay there. I'm sorry. Lauter. Yeah, my mom drank some water and it didn't go right. Yeah, Taylor Lauter. I don't know why I want to say Sean Humphreys. That just sort of like wants to just, just I'm like Sean Humphreys, but I knew that wasn't right. Yeah, but they were married for about what, a less than a month, and they were like, no. He's like, oh no. Mm-mm.
She's better now.
Okay, thank you. And then she was dating a couple of other guys, and it seemed like everyone who she dated elevated her to a different level. And then when she got with Kanye, it went to even a bigger level. And now, and actually, no, she was dating Ray J first, and then that tape came out. I can't believe her mother did that. Yeah, thank you, Hans. Yeah, that's exactly what she was doing. Um, she was with Ray J, and then the tape, and all this. And Ray J came out and said, "No, Kris Jenner knew about all of this. It's I got the tapes. I mean, the contracts, and even to the point to where he even she Kim Kardashian signed a contract, and he went to a forensic specialist and got her fingerprints printed off. Yeah, yep. It says Kim Kardashian reign. Yep, it's close to to over. I hope everyone who has dated juice and dry. Yeah, most definitely. And her mother. Oh my goodness. I know if Robert, her ex husband, were still alive, this wild stuff wouldn't even be going on. I really feel for Kim Kardashian. You know something that would make sense. Um, as far as Kim hating. Well, I wouldn't say. I really wouldn't say that she would hate men. I would say that she was used and not protected. Because I remember reading someplace, and I don't know how true this is, but I did read it that Chris put Kim Kardashian on birth control when she was 14 years old. I mean, there's a lot going on with that family. Um, Ray J, actually, Kim Kardashian worked for Ray J's mother. I think she did makeup or worked in a coat room or something, and then worked her way up to being an assistant, and to where she took liberties of a credit card to the tune of what was $100,000, and then his mother sued her and only was able to retrieve $80,000 back. I mean, that's some wild, wild stuff. Most definitely, it's just like wow. Um, Let me see. Her mother pimped her out. I most definitely do believe that. And uh, it's okay to everyone to blow. Yeah, blows my mind. Yeah, yeah. And Holly weird. It is so weird out there. Very weird. And then if you see just how and just look at Evan Rachel Wood. Weird as all outdoors. Um, Let me see. I feel like Chris hates men. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think. Oh man, how can I say this? Oh my goodness, I don't know what it is about that family. Um, Poor Rob Jr. has been. I don't want to say emasculated, but it seems like Chris gives all the attention to the girls and pushes the girls out there to get married by only to wealthy men, and it's about pulling them into keeping up with the Kardashians because they've been at that for like 20 years and they lived their life 20 years in the spotlight. And oh my goodness, this is so crazy. I'm sorry. Hello? Hello?
Hi, Ikuna.
Yes?
Okay. Hi, ma'am. My name is Mary, and please note this going on to the recorded. I'm
Can I
calling today from Kurikunda.
can I talk to you later, please? Call me back in about an
Okay.
hour,
Sorry to
okay?
interrupt you, ma'am. Yes, just
Okay. I'm sorry about that. I'm getting the calls. Let me put this on mute. I'm sorry. Um, I'm having so many interruptions. Let me see. Oh, but putting her daughters out there like that. I mean, just it's like mind blowing. And whomever she could marry her daughters off to or getting them out there are very wealthy men. And it's like Chris is managing everything, managing their lives instead of being their mother. She's being their manager. And the one who she really pushed out there was Kim. Kim caught the brunt of it. Kim, not so much Kylie or Kendall. Kendall is just more to herself. Um, Courtney is like, uh, and actually, she was. I saw on Instagram that she was sitting with two other people that the Kardashian clan sort of had nothing to do with, and Courtney sitting there giving them the middle finger. I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Okay, Jessica says, toxic femininity. That very well could be. They do throw the toxicity out there to where when people tried to sue them, they went and what did they do? Allegedly gone to other people bad mouthing them. Even got Kanye to badmouth Ray J, so to where he couldn't get his music out, keeping the man from making a living. Saying, "Well, if you play his music, you won't see me anymore." Doing that for Kim. Kanye, I don't know what time you're on or what. Mm, mm. And also, Jessica says she thought Kim was the prettiest. I don't know. Kim is pretty, but I think maybe Kylie, or even Courtney. I don't know between Kylie and Courtney. Kim, she's pretty, but I think Kylie or Courtney. Matter of fact, now I think about it, even Chloe. Yes, Chloe's really pretty too. Okay, wait a minute. Jessica says, "I'm so glad Ray J's finally Yes, yes, he has. He was showing. He pulled out that contract, he was showing text messages to where Kim was texting paragraphs because he said, wait a minute, wait, no. Wait, you're saying I did this? Sodomy? Nah, you're over there talking about some felony stuff over there. That was not in a contract. Pulled it out. I'm like, wow. Let me see. Jessica also says, I just mean that her mother saw. Yeah, I feel that she didn't have kids. Saw that she would. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Unfortunately, by her managing somewhere there, she stopped being Chris the mom and Chris the manager, and kept on managing and not being the mom, and seeing that her family is in a delusional state. And now that they're losing stuff, I mean, they're coming up with any and everything. Your own gardeners, you Kim stopped paying her gardeners and made the one guy, um they a Latino gardening crew, and had a 16-year-old boy, 16 or 17, working to the point to where she wouldn't even give him a water break. I mean, what kind of stuff is that? To where the boy passes out and then you don't pay them? Let me see. I think there's nothing Chris wouldn't do to make money. Yeah. Oh my goodness. She has a church. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Chris has a church. You don't enter the church, but you have to pay like $1,000 and then to go someplace else. This is just too much. I mean, these people. I mean, Kim. I have to say, not Kim, but Chris is the ultimate hustler. She can hustle up some money. She is the ultimate one, but then she has her children out there doing whatever she needs them to do to bring the money in. And if that is threatened, they go after them. They badmouth them. They put stuff on tweet about them. And that's wild. That is so wild. So, does anybody want to come up and say your piece about whatever you are thinking about the topic? And that is Evan Rachel Wood and Amber Heard being train wrecks, and Eve being the passenger. Do you have any thoughts on that? You want to call up or come up? I would love to hear your point. Call up or come up. Here, I'm posting the link to StreamYard. But toxic femininity is, really, that's really something, because that's something that isn't spoken about a lot. And then if you do start speaking about that, then it becomes a huge issue. And I have to say, there is a degree to toxic femininity. There really is. We're just going to have to be honest about it, because just to sit there and just say it's all toxic masculinity, no. Because one cannot exist without the other. If it's just toxic masculinity and that's it, then what's going on over here? The scales are so off. Where is femininity? Where is it? But I thought that was, Jessica, that was a really good point, the toxic femininity. And Kim Kardashian and Kris Kardashian being the ultimate hustler. Oh my goodness. And Kim loved her dad so much. Oh my goodness. You know, Sometimes when people like Chris, who has a lot of ambition, but really do not have the avenues to be able to to get that ambition or to be able to capitalize on it, because you're married to Bruce Jenner, which, wow, I had no idea that she was married to Bruce Jenner, and what a great marriage that was. That I that was a I know. Oh my goodness, what kind of blow to Chris's ego as far as that, and I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna leave that right there. I mean, that right there is. I don't want to touch that. That's just too much. Let me see. Okay, you'll call. Okay, fabulous. What? Chris did? Oh, that's right. Now you see. Now you see that's interesting. Now I wonder. Now, thank you for reminding me, because there was a rumor that she was with OJ. Oh man, was it the 80s? Somewhere in the 80s, and there's some speculation that Chloe may be his daughter. I don't know. That's pure speculation. I don't know. I truly don't know, but that's what was said, and I do remember that now. Thank you for bringing that up, because I totally forgot about that. Totally. And also, I remember when not Kim, but Chris was co-hosting on The View, and they were interviewing Mario Lopez, and Kris Kardashian, or Kris Jenner, was talking about how she was always sneaking out of the house and always with some guy here and some guy there, and asked Mario, well, did you ever sneak out of the house? And Mario said, no, I didn't do that. One, I respected my parents' rules. And two, I didn't put myself out there like that. I'm like, ooh. And the look on Chris's face was pure humiliation. Pure humiliation. Jessica says, yes, the 80s. And yes, she may have had a child by him. I don't know either. I don't know. It's just pure speculation that has been on people's minds for a while. And then you look at Chloe, and then you look at his eldest daughter, Ronell, from his first marriage. Chloe, Ronell, and you sort of like put them kind of together. They do favor. I don't know. I don't know. Could be the makeup. I don't know. Um, oh, she ate a lemon. You got jokes. You got jokes. Oh my goodness, you're too funny. You got jokes. You got jokes. Too funny. Um, let me take that off. Yeah, but it's just wild. But I know once this Marilyn Manson trial comes, that's gonna be ginormous. And then I'm pretty sure, because right now Ray J is looking for a lawyer, because he did file an extension and it was granted to be able to sue. So he has 1 year to get a lawyer and put this stuff in process. So now he's saying that how the Kardashians are intimidating people and keeping intimidating the lawyers, which their power is dwindling. Let me see. Jessica says the look on her face was like, I ate a. You're too. Stop it. Oh my goodness. So if you want to call in at 202-292-7538. If you want to talk about Evan Rachel Wood, Amber Heard, Eve Barlow. If you want to talk about Ray J and what's going on there with Kim Kardashian, you can call in if you like, or come up. I'll put the link out again. And if you don't want to come up on video, that is completely okay. I do have a cell phone, the number I just gave, that you can call in if you don't want your face shown. And if not, you can come up and not on video and not show your face if you don't want to. And I do understand, I really do. But this is some wild stuff, but I know I just can't wait. I'm waiting on more information to drop about Evan Rachel Wood and this lawsuit, because Marilyn Manson is that much closer to getting to the courtroom. And I found it quite interesting how she hurried up and threw the anti-slap on him, trying to use the freedom of speech. How she had the right to say what she wanted to say. Well, you do, as long as it's true. And she's running around making all these outlandish statements and outlandish things. Okay, Jessica says, so much out there from every corner. Yep, on so many. Yep. And making all these outlandish statements, and it cost him. Her words cost him. Cost him his record label, cost him future income. It cost him a whole lot. Cost him to lose some fans based on what she was saying. And you got to keep in mind, yeah, freedom of speech. Yeah, you do have freedom of speech as long as it's not liable and you don't cause anyone injury, not physical. Well, it could lead to physical injury if you're lying on someone and you're saying, oh, well, it's like I hate using this one. It's like standing up in a room and screaming fire, and everybody runs out and people get trampled on based on what you said. That's liable speech. It causes harm. But what all these ladies did, all of these ladies did, Amber, her speech caused Johnny to lose 40 million, what, 40 or $50 million based on what she said. That wasn't true. Evan Rachel Wood, and then gets her cronies to jump in there to say things that weren't true. And now you have what's her name? Oh man, Kim Kardashian, who's out there extending something and giving a slant, putting a slant on the tape and making it, and now trying to get more people on to watch her new show by saying, "Oh, well, I think something happened to my backside," and then cry. Oh, her acting ability is terrible. Okay, wait a minute. Jessica says, freedom of speech does not cover lies. That is so true. Amber, Evan, Ilma, Rose, all of them. Yeah, and oh yeah, look, I'm still mad at Rose McGowan. I'm angry at her because she knew what they were saying wasn't true. And yeah, I know she wrote a book. I know she did. And that is not helping him right now. That was back then. Even Evan Rachel Wood said, "Oh, he's a nice guy. He helped me. He did all these, but he did this and this and this to me, and he me too me." Now, if Rose McGowan would have came out and said, "Ladies, now stop it, stop it. You know you're not telling the truth." Just like what's her name? I can never get her name right. Emsme Balog. I'm killing her name. Emsme Balog. She came out and said, "No, that didn't happen to me. That was not my experience." Went on record and even did a declaration stating those things in court. Rose didn't do that. And now Rose is in Mexico because she got, look, you get what you get what you get. Let me see. Um, Jessica says now the Kardashians most definitely right. Jessica also says accusing someone of yeah, essomy is absolutely horrific. Yeah, I can't. I have to say things in a different way. Um, and Jessica said estimate, and yes, yeah. You can't. And okay, how can I'm not trying to preach. I'm really trying hard not to. I don't want to do that. But we women, we're going to have to most definitely get our crazy sisters under control. And that is pointing out when they're wrong, calling them out. When they cry, so what? Cry because you're wrong to begin with. Now your feelings are hurt. And we have to stop this pity party. It is so bad to where a woman, I was watching this video, a woman was having a dialogue with a man, and she said, oh, a woman can do any and everything what a man can do. And then the man said, well, name one thing. And then she couldn't. And then she goes away and starts crying. And then these guys were getting ready to jump on this guy. Thankfully, he was interviewing. And then the guys were admonishing the gentleman that was simply asking her, well, what? And she could not name one thing. They per- mm, I'm sorry, this makes me mad. And she never apologized to the man for doing what she did. That was manipulation on the highest level, straight manipulation. And the women around, instead of comforting her, well, what did you say? Well, he said, name one thing that a woman can do that a man, name one thing a woman can do that a man can't. And she couldn't name one, and then I cried. Mm, okay, I'm missing these. Rose got owned, and she reaped what she sowed. Most definitely, Blaze says. I think that's a thumbs up. I'm not quite sure, but thank you for being here. And Jessica says, I was in a relationship for 3 years. Yeah, 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 and that right there also bothers me because what that woman did in the example that I was talking about, by her going over there crying because she couldn't come up with one example, and then her paradigm that she built that women can do the same thing what men can do and do better was challenged, and then she couldn't come up with one thing. And like what and then what a lot of ladies say, well, we give birth. I know I said that when I was dumb back then. I was a real dirtbag. Yes, I was. And then I came into the light. But but this has to stop. It really does. And then women who really have these issues, truly have these issues, who are truly being mentally abused. Like a good one is, if it weren't for me, you would be nothing. Um, Nobody's gonna love you the way I do. I mean, wild stuff like that. But when do that stupid stuff, okay, I'm not gonna do it to myself. Um, Jessica says it doesn't start out as abuse. It never starts out that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It never starts out that way. What they do is you're lulled into a false sense of a feeling that you're in a relationship. The person never tells you their true intention. They sit there and they say, oh, I just love you. You are so beautiful. If you can just, you know, do this for me, everything will be great. It starts off real small, and then it progresses. And then if you don't put a stop to it or recognize what's going on, or isolating you. I really don't want to go see your mother because you know your mother doesn't like me. She doesn't like me at all. Why don't you stay here with me and then we can go see her some other time? But guess what? The next time never comes. Um, Let me see what else. Jessica says they make you feel like you're the only one on this planet for every. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's called love bombing, and that ought to be a big one right there. They just give you all this love and attention, just oversaturates you with it, doing things that you have never done. They just have a way of peering into your life and experiencing you the way they want to experience. I think I got that a little, but they give you everything, just all the attention, all the love, any and everything you could ever want. They give it to you. And then, at first, it's like you talk on the phone for like forever. Talk on the phone, tell you what kind of great person you are, and if they had a chance with you, then you give them a chance. And it's like, oh yeah, you're great, you're this, you're that. All these things just building you up. And as they're building you up, where are their intentions? They need that supply of like taking away a little bit here, a little bit there, and a little bit there. And what I mean by there, they take a little from from you mentally. Like if you're like a confident person, oh, you look so beautiful, but if you just would do something with that tooth, well, darn it, you knew about my tooth when you got with me. Why is that a problem now? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, okay, and then Jessica says it gradually grows and gets worse and worse. Before you know it, you are completely alone and you feel completely useless and worthless. Oh yeah. And they slowly get their grasp. Yeah. Yep. And then tighten their grip and suffocate you. Yep. For me, I call that being how can I say this without it sounding cuckoo? I call that people who are psychic vampires. They just not only take your energy away from you, but they also take a piece of who you are and take a little bit of this, I'm going to work on take away your confidence, or I'm going to badger you about the way you look. Or you could look better. I'm not going out with you unless if you put on a little bit of makeup, or why don't you dress like this, or why don't you do this? That doesn't make you look too good. That color, just little small things, and then it gets bigger. And next thing you know, it becomes physical at some point. It could, not always, but most of the time it does. Um, Jessica says they slowly get their grasp on you. Oh, okay, I already read that. Shauna, could you give your grandmother her cough medicine, please? Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, and it becomes really, really bad. Becomes really bad. And I could only imagine. Oh my goodness. I could just only imagine Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I mean, that woman, oh my goodness. I'm just wondering at what point did Johnny realize between his love for her and love for himself? I mean, when did he realize that he was being psychologically, and well, he knew he was being physically abused, but at what point did he realize, okay, this is too much? Let me see. Jessica says, and it isn't always romantic relationships either. Yeah, it can be family or friends. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Abuse is abuse. Man, my sister. I remember. My sister Gabrielle, God bless her soul. I remember after when I got pregnant with my daughter, because I had a lot of clothes. I was way smaller. And with my daughter, I gained 78 pounds. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, I'm done. 78 pounds. And my sister said, "Oh, well, you don't need those dresses. You're never going to fit them again. You're going to be fat anyway. Just look. Just look. Just look how big you are." And I told my sister, "Well, why don't you get a job and buy your own, or if not, pay me for my clothes?" But they try to do things like that. Um, Jessica says, "My family was horrible to me growing up." Yeah, like that. They can be the most the toxic things in some person's life. Yeah, and I have said, and this is very true for some people, not for all. Especially if you have strained families, or if you have a one parent family, or whatever. Sometimes both parents can be jacked up too. I mean, hey, it happens. Um, you oh, 60 pounds? You gained 60 pounds? Uh, I'm jealous. I'm positive jealous of you. I'm going to Amber Heard you. I'm so silly. Ignore me. But what was I saying? I'm sorry, Jessica, you threw me off. But my one thing about family and one thing about friends. Family, you're stuck with. Friends, you can choose. And I have said sometimes that water is thicker than blood. I don't know if you heard of the phrase, blood is thicker than water, meaning family is more important than friends. For the most part, it is. But when you have a jacked up family, sometimes you need your friends to be your family. You may have, like me, and I'm going to do a video on the friends that I grew up with back home. And I did a video about because my dad he walked out when I was young, and there was this guy named Placido or Pat Simonetta, and I got permission to show his picture. Italian man, him and his wife, and they helped me. They helped me and my brother. I mean, just giving guidance and help because my mother, she really struggled, worked, and had us little knuckleheads. And my dad went that way. But hey, whatever happened, happened. But oh, wait a minute, let me see. Uh, Let me see. Jessica said, "Okay, you'll call in just a minute." And then you said, I started out 100 pounds. Yeah, my daughter, and then 160. Yep. And coffee is thicker than blood. I like that. Coffee is thicker than that. But those of us who had, and sometimes it's like that. Now it and sometimes you're closer with some family members, as Amber Heard and her sister Whitney. I mean, Whitney's homeless. I mean, I don't know what was going on between Whitney and her husband, or what were the issues there. But Amber, I think Amber's older, and that level of, I mean, she needs some serious help. I mean, I'm finding out about the car accident with her friend, leaving, going to California. I guess so much happened in Texas to where she couldn't be there anymore. It's just really something. Just really that. I mean, those two ladies are just a ball of mess. just a complete mess. Now, when you look at Evan Rachel Wood, there's some information coming out about her mother having mental issues and instabilities. I don't know how true that is. I have to look it up. But that's the information that's coming out, and that would explain a lot about her not being able to distinguish, I know, truth from reality. Let me see. The Black Pope says, "I'll stick with dogs." No, we can't. Okay, all right. I feel you most definitely. Yeah, I still haven't lost the weight yet. Like sometimes I tell people, "Yeah, I have my baby fat," and then they ask me, "Well, how old is your child?" And I tell them like, "No, you're just fat." Oh my goodness. Oh man. Oh, look, learn how to laugh at yourself. I do. Oh man, I was pulling that one. Say, oh, I had a baby weight. Nah, put that fork down. Oh man. Oh yeah, that's fair. Black. Yeah, yep, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, dogs will keep you moving. They bug the mess out of you. Oh my goodness. But I don't know. This whole situation is really something, and I could only look at the guys, Marilyn Manson and Johnny Depp, and even throw Ray J into this. Um, they have been psychologically, emotionally, socially battered. I mean, battered to a pulp. And there has to be something something that needs to be done to stop this. And unfortunately, it's going to cause a terrible shift. And I feel the shift coming. I see the way things are going now. Women who are really having these issues because of these lying, I call them lion heifers. Lion heifers, yes. Heifa, not Heifer. No. Heifa, heifer. Yes. And they make it bad for women who really have these issues. And women who really have these issues will not be believed because of these women here who are doing it because now they can use this and take revenge on getting back at those men. They're being vindictive. I'm going to get you back. Oh, you didn't marry me? We've been down. You proposed to me twice, but you're going to marry that heifer Lindsey? Oh no. Or Johnny, you're cheating on me? Oh, oh no. Oh, I'm going to get you. You chop off your finger and blame you and do this and blame you. Ugh. Um. Okay. Yeah, but this Marilyn Manson thing. Oh my goodness, man. She's gonna have the roaches run to the corner. Oh my goodness, because all her lies, she's gonna have to be able to substantiate everything that she said. Ashley Waters, Ashley Smith's line. Your lawyer dropped you. Your lawyer wrote a declaration. The judge said, okay, you can leave her as a. She needs to find another lawyer. You're off the case. That's legal. She's done. Okay. Hello, Big Girl Diary.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Jessica, right?
Yes.
Hey, how's it going? What say you?
Well, just real quick, the Ashley Morgan Smith line, I'm pretty sure that, I don't know
how true it was, but it was brought up that she actually tried to fire her attorney months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like gaslighting her and texting her, telling her that he didn't believe it was her and to hold out and stuff like that. Now, I'm not sure how true that is,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, but I'm pretty sure that she had dropped him and tried to.
Well, no, I did a video on it showing to where he did the paperwork and he put it in, and the judge granted him being relieved from her case.
Oh, okay.
So she can't go and say, "Hey, you're fired." No, it more has to be done besides her saying that.
So she might have just said it, but she never actually did it.
Right,
So
and
she can say, "Look, I did this," but she never actually did it, so it doesn't look as bad on her. She's one that I had started following her on Instagram just for curiosity, and most of the pictures that she has posted are either not of her or they are so photoshopped she looks like a legitimate like Monster High doll. Like, none of them look the same. They're very, very edited. She's got like this huge, strong jawline and like these big old lips. Like, we haven't seen her in a video that we know, like we don't know what she actually looks like. If you ever check out her Instagram, like it's just like definitely not her, and she can't really call herself a model. Like, it's so edited, and it looks literally nothing like her.
Let me ask you. The poll that I did earlier showing that Evan Rachel Wood or Amber Heard, who would win the Fooldom award. Now, the people said Amber won. What do you say?
In regards to what? I'm sorry.
Oh, I did a poll of Evan Rachel Wood and Amber Heard. Who was more? Let me not try to rely on my memory. That is not going to work. Okay, I have a serious question. Who wins first prize being the international fool and wears the crown of fooldom? Amber Heard for lying on Johnny, thinking he wouldn't fight back. Evan Rachel Wood, FBI letter would work, and not considering, because I only had like I only had like 60 characters. Marilyn Manson wouldn't fight back, or the last one, Eve Barlow, taking Amber to Israel and not having a WWE match in a hotel, meaning that Amber would not abuse her.
Yeah. Honestly, my opinions with it, like, I think Amber is probably the biggest, like, worst one out of them, because I feel like she has thought her stuff out. Hers is planned. I feel like Evan Rachel Wood, she's only going off of emotion. So she's not exactly thinking. Like, she's just going.
Oh, that is a good point.
Barlow, I feel like she's just one of those idiots of an "I told you so." Like, oh, well, they did it to 10 other people, but you really didn't think they would do it to you?
Wait a minute, great points. Those were great points. I didn't even think about the emotional part. That's why I like talking to you all. Oh man, I didn't even think about Evan going off of emotion. Oh man. Okay, there are some great points. And yeah, Eve. Now I thought that I was thinking too much on it. That she was more manipulative than Amber. That's what I was thinking.
I think that Eve Barlow really thought that she was the man, and she was going to be the knight in shining armor, and Amber was just going to swoon all over her, and they were going to ride off into the sunset, throwing up middle fingers to everybody. And that's what she thought was going to happen. But everybody else is sitting here saying, "Just wait."
Wow. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't even think about that. Dropping some dimes. Shauna. Man, oh man, oh man. I
But
didn't
yeah,
think
with
about
Evan
that.
Rachel Wood, she goes purely off emotion. And just like she said, if Brian Warner were to just wave his little finger at her, she'd go skipping right back to him and drop everything. Hers is all on emotion. She has an obsession with Brian Warner and Marilyn Manson synonymously.
Mhm.
Whereas Amber, she has a plan, basically, and she just, she's stepping up. And instead of sleeping around and getting her way, she's doing it other ways, is how I see it.
Wow. Okay, that is a good one. Okay.
She's alright.
Is she okay? Okay. Could you give her some water?
She has water.
Did you give her cough medicine?
It's in the refrigerator.
Okay, get it for her, please. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Man, I didn't even think about that. Oh man, that right there is massive. I didn't even think about the emotional part. Didn't.
And in terms of Eve, I don't think she really has like much more than 2 brain cells in all of it. I really don't think she's like this mastermind. I don't think she's manipulative. I really think she just thought she was going to have something. Amber would be like her little trophy, like, look, I tamed the beast.
Yeah, okay.
Instead the beast devoured her.
I see exactly. Yeah, I see. The blind man says, I see. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, now what do you think about the Ray J situation? Let me just throw an extra one in there.
Oh, my goodness. So I've never been a fan of the Kardashians and how they were and the way they treated people and just things like that. It's not my kind of thing. I've never watched an episode. And I've also never been a Ray J fan, but I followed it enough to know that there was more to it than the 2 tried to let out. Like,
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, go ahead. The last part, my cheekbone sort of like died a little bit. Could you repeat the last part, please?
Yeah, of course. So Ray J, though, if all this stuff had happened, why didn't they sue Ray J? She's waking up with stuff in her backside. He's putting out these videos that all, and I'm so horrible. Why didn't they ever sue him? And before he showed any of his receipts and everything, that's kind of where I was at. And especially watching how the Kardashians walk on their guys, especially Kris and what's her name? The main one, Kim. Yeah, they just completely just walk all over everybody, and I feel like they've been poking the bear at Ray J for such a long time that he's just completely done, and he's gonna blow the lid off of everything. And what he has started is only just the beginning. Oh my goodness,
yes, because I was watching a couple of different videos. No, actually him, and he said there are 3.
Yeah.
Kris had them do 3 different videos, and she looked at them herself.
Watched them to see which one her daughter looked best in, and so we're gonna put that one out.
What?
Who does that? Who does
Thank
that
you.
with a child? Like, I have a daughter and I have a son, and when I heard that, I was like, any ounce of respect I could have had for that family, that went out the door. And the fact that everybody thinks it's okay, like it's not a big deal. This lady pimped out her daughter for money, and everybody's just like, oh, it's okay, and Ray J's a piece of crap.
And it's not, and Ray J said that when he did it, he didn't even think about his family. He was only thinking about the money. And then when it all came down, he was like, oh my God.
And dumb, and it was exciting. But then also, while they're signing all this paperwork, Kim Kardashian, he's not going fast enough. So she's signing some of his paperwork. And he's already had it fingerprinted, dusted, analyzed, all of that. Like, he's got all his ducks and his chickens in a row.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to figure out which one's going to be bigger, Marilyn Manson or Ray J, because man, the Kardashians, I mean, they have screwed over so many people.
I feel like the Kardashian thing is just starting. Now that Ray J is going to stand up and he's got the proof of everything, I think it's going to definitely help a lot of other people maybe speak out or at least back him up and maybe stop them in like their total reign of everything.
Because he said, I'm not afraid of you. I got the receipts. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you.
He's been sitting there, holding on to this stuff just in case. And the day came, and again, it's been 20 years. Why is Kris Jenner going on a live TV and taking these first of all, fake lie detector tests, but taking these lie detector tests, talking about it? It's been 20 years. Your daughter is now a billionaire, and she has all this other stuff. You guys have all this other stuff going on. Why are you still bringing Ray J up? Leave the poor guy alone. He never fought them. He never stood up for himself. He stayed quiet.
Oh, but not only that, Kim Kardashian's connected to Britney Spears.
Yes. That too. Like you said, you can't make it up.
You can't make this sugar honey iced tea up. You just can't. That's right.
And then there's also Cara Delevingne, that video that you watched. She is so far gone.
You know,
that one needs an intervention. Like, bad. She's young too. Like,
she's like 23, 24.
Yeah.
It's something about when Hollywood, between entertainment, singers, and actors, it's something about that 27 range. If you're able to get past that, you're okay until you're like 54. It's something how people die there. It's like the 20 something or the 54s.
Well, I also feel like there's like two kinds of people in Hollywood: the ones that go and they just hit it and they do so well, but they cannot handle it, and they're not making the right friends for support, and people, they make enemies in the circles, and so they hit rock bottom. And unless you are good at like manipulation and the game, or you completely keep your distance, like Keanu Reeves, you never hear anything on him. He doesn't get in the middle of things.
I know.
But then there's also like the Kardashians and Britney Spears, which there's always something going on. And I feel like you have to be that kind of person to make it there.
Her father, Jamie Spears. I mean, I can't even imagine what Britney is going through the manipulation, the psychological, the spiritual manipulation Britney Spears went through, and thank Jesus Christ for that one subscriber who noticed something.
Yeah, there's a lot more coming out about her also. His name is Cinema Shogun, is the name of his channel, and he's been covering the Britney thing since before the conservatorships end, like right before. And he was never like one of her fans or anything like that, but he was concerned for her well-being and started following her and posting and saying, obviously she needs help. They asked me to need to stop. Like, you guys are just enablers. But now that it's changed, she's posting pictures of herself on Instagram completely naked, pulling her butt cheeks apart, saying horrible things about her children to her children. And I don't think what her father did to her was right at all. The conservatorship wasn't right at all, but I feel like she's got some really bad problems and they need to be addressed. Otherwise, she's just going to ruin every relationship in her life. And she needs help. She can't, she's not normal. There's obviously a lot wrong.
Oh, yeah. There's something about that desert. Having out there in the desert.
I think her little husband, I just think he's her new handler. I really do. He's working to try to make her look crazy and stupid, because he's the one that does most of her filming. All of those videos of her twirling next to dog poop and stuff, and the spreading of the booty cheeks and all that, he takes those videos and he takes those pictures.
Get out of here.
No. Oh, and so funny. I was watching YouTube the other day, and an ad came up, and it was for a dating website, an online dating website. And I took a screenshot of it because his picture was on it in the ad.
Oh, hold on.
And then he also did the video game ad and stuff like that. And he makes me very uncomfortable. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
I wouldn't trust him around my daughter's cat. But Nettie from Norway says that Cara just turned 30.
Oh.
Java the cat. I like that. I want to see the Kardashian empire tumble down.
I feel like the Kardashians have been walking all for two people way too long, and it's time for those people to stand up and put them back in their places.
Oh, and also Java the cat also said that you're making great points today, and thank you. Oh, thank you, because you did make you're making points I didn't even consider. You're just slaying it. Man, oh man, oh man. Oh, but it's something about that desert, because Cara, before all of this happened, she was out in the desert at some kind of retreat. Something about that desert. I don't know what it is.
But I couldn't believe that video when I saw her. It was it's like the homeless people that you see like on the sides of the roads, and that's what she looked like. And her movements, and she was just so out of it. It was kind of scary.
Yeah, and the fact was, when I shot that video like 5 times, it kept on messing up, and then 6 times. The last 2 times I got it right. One, I was speaking on it, but I uploaded the wrong one. And it was just that, and I'm like, I didn't need to speak because that spoke for itself.
Yeah, it was so bad. And you got the full video. I hadn't seen the whole video. I just seen pieces.
That was a whole video, that I saw.
It makes me wonder, like all these people standing around her and filming her. Who's there? Who's going to help her? Like, where's her family? Where's her support? Where's her friends?
Thank you.
Why is she completely alone, tweaking out and being recorded? You would feel like people would want to keep it more secluded and not so open.
No, we're not in that day of age to where you could go and do some type of mind-bending whatever and go home and do it. No, it's out there. But I think there's way more to it than that. I believe that between the Amber Heard and Amber Heard is falling down, and then that's too conspiratorial. No, but whatever Cara did or did not do, the way she's acting now may be the result of it. Now, it was said that she was acting out that way before, so there might be some sort of mental instability there.
Well, I'm pretty sure she got some issues and whatnot, and doing the amount of drugs that they do and everything doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she was. I still don't know the full story of it, but she was friends with Johnny Depp's daughter.
I know.
Like good friends, hanging out with Johnny Depp's daughter and his ex-wife Vanessa. Like there's pictures of it, and then these videos come out of her going ham with Amber in the elevator at Johnny's place.
I mean, look. That blew me away. I could only imagine what Lily Depp how she must feel about Cara, and then her mother, how she must feel. The two of them must feel about her. I mean, that is some shady, slimy stuff.
That's some really gross stuff, and I don't care. Everybody knew whose penthouse that was. There was no reason for that ever. It's just completely disrespectful and slimy.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Amber's friend, Amber's Io, which I'm pretty sure Johnny Depp got a bunch of slack because they're trans, and I'm not sure if it's female to male or male to female, so I can't say the proper pronouns right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Io, that person, had taken pictures of Lily, his daughter, and done some really questionable things with her. And I don't know what all came of that, but with that happening because of Amber and her friends, and then the Cara thing, I can only imagine how that must feel all the way around.
I mean, I hope Johnny and her mother is doing something about that situation right there, because it doesn't matter what pronouns you are. You don't do no questionable things of
or anybody taking advantage of anybody. But, yeah.
Now that right there would make me take a baseball bat and start swinging. You leave children alone.
Exactly.
Do what you want with adults. Leave children alone.
Exactly.
Wow.
And the stuff coming out about Amber luring girls, and slipping them drugs and stuff. she's no different than Ghislaine Maxwell at all.
Okay, but the thing is this, and this is right here where the hypocrisy comes in. Women are screaming, I want equal rights, I want equality this, equality that. Well, you ought to have the equality going to jail too. Whenever women do things what men do, as far as dealing with underage women, young women like 17, 16, you need to go to jail too. I don't even know why Amber is not, why is there not an outrage?
I don't exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, why is there not a complete huge outrage about all of this? You know, she was abusing these people, and it's been shown. But it was just said that Johnny Depp hit her once, and he lost everything.
And she hit him.
There's been so much proof against her, and she's still walking around doing her little prom queen wave.
But that's my problem with the women's movement. The feminist movement, that is my problem, to where women are out here doing this and they're going unchecked. They get up on their stage
they're just being women, and they're just being liberated, and they're just, you know, whatever. But if a man does it, then he needs to go to prison.
Yeah, it ought to be the same as that. Shauna. My mother has a phone. Her phone is ringing so loud because she can't hear. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, but yeah,
Do you know if they're going to televise the Manson case?
I hope so.
I'm hoping they do, because he deserves a fair trial. I was talking to my husband about it the other night, and I said it. I was like, I really hope that they do televise it, and not to sound like it because it's not to watch the drama and whatever and the entertainment. I really feel like it's the only way he's going to get a real fair trial. I feel like a lot of people have gone into this thinking he was guilty, and a lot of people have come out realizing that he's actually a really awesome person. I know at least 5 people that have changed their minds about him just because of all of this. That's been great, but there's so many. Like, just look at the Amber followers. There's so many that didn't even watch that trial and are still backing her, and they refuse to watch it. And it's just crazy because they don't want to see the actual evidence.
True. Look, feelings are facts now. Facts mean nothing. But I have a question. Nettie from Norway, sorry about that, says, what do you think about Una Page's stroller or Paige's role in this?
I don't think she's real.
And do you think she's AH's daughter? You know, I used to think it.
I feel like she set it all up, like with the Elon thing and everything. She wanted everybody talking about her. She wanted everybody thinking she had Elon's baby and all this other stuff. But that's the one baby, and he's a great father. You know, like, he claims all of his children. Why wouldn't he claim that one? No matter what, he's always claimed his children. So I feel like she set all of that up on purpose. I don't feel like it's her baby or even anybody's baby that she actually knows. I mean, it might be sometimes, just depends whose baby she's borrowing, is what I think.
Because I learned rent a baby. I learned about, I'm like, wow, people rent babies? And I had to stop and think that the woman out in Baltimore, she borrowed somebody's 4 children, took a picture, took out a GoFundMe ad about they're getting ready to get kicked out. This woman gets $400,000, and these kids weren't even hers. I mean, that money should have been taken away from her, given back to everyone who gave because she lied.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's
this
gross.
is the craziest, and women get away with it. Like, one of my earlier videos, I think it was like video 10, about 220 videos ago, you had a woman in New York that said she was raped by this guy. I'm sorry, graped. I can't say that word. Graped. That she was graped. And later on, about the man does 6 years in jail. And then she comes out and says, well, no one was giving me attention. He really didn't grape me at all. I just wanted some attention.
I feel like she should get double the time that he got. And I really, really do. I feel like if you accuse somebody of something and it is found that is completely false, I feel like you should be convicted of whatever they would have been convicted of.
Mm-hmm. And oh, one there was this TJ Kirkland. He's a comedian, and he was down in Florida, and he was in this comedy club, and he did an act, and a waitress and him hit it off, and he went back to her place, and yada 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 yada, and after that he goes back with another woman. So by him being with her, I guess she had in her idea that they were together.
Oh goodness.
Well, and he just said, "Hey, this is just this." So
yeah, she thought she had more than groupie status.
Right. So when he leaves, they call him back to come back because she said that he raped her. Well, he goes back, clears himself, and then he sues her criminally, not civilly. He sued her criminally.
Good.
And she did like 3 years in prison.
I think a lot more of that needs to be done. And I feel like Ray J stepping up to the Kardashians will definitely help a lot of different men in a way. Like, I just feel like they'll see a big person doing it against some really big people, and maybe it'll help, because so many men, they don't talk about it. And half the time they stay in the relationship so long because it's not a big deal. Oh, well, she hit you. Did it hurt that bad? Are you crying? Are you in the hospital type of thing? And it just gets worse.
Yeah,
worse.
it does.
And so many men just don't talk about it because of the stigma of it.
And
when you have people like Howard Stern going on his podcast and saying like Johnny Depp is pathetic for wanting this to be out and he should have just let it go. I just couldn't believe that. Like, why do you think men have such a stigma of standing up? And abuse is abuse. I don't care if I open hand hit you or I close hand hit you. I hit you.
Well, you know why Howard Stern did it. He did it because he has to go along with the narrative to keep the numbers, to keep people coming to him. So he's pandering to women to keep them coming back so he can make money.
Exactly.
And that right there.
Instead of doing something honorably and actually making a difference, he's just feeding into more of the bullshit.
Yeah.
Bull stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. I just can't say raped or abuse or DV. I'm just learning. I just got monetized, so I'm learning everything that I say. I'm just like,
code word.
What happened to freedom of speech? Let's just say for what it is. It is the legal term.
Right.
Raped is the legal term, and I have to come up with all this. It's wild.
But you can go out and say somebody did it to you, and it's just fine. You can make all these videos saying that it happened to you by this person and accusing a person, and it's fine. But if you're talking about that person lying about it, then you get monetized.
I mean, the stuff that's going on, it's really wild. If you tell the truth, like on my other channel, I have 45 subscribers, but I really go for it on my other channel.
Yeah, I enjoy that channel.
Oh, thank you. I really do go in kind of hard, don't I? but I can't really go out the way I really want to say it. But if you just do a little additional research, you'll see where I'm coming from. Yeah. I just can't come out and say, because if I do, they're like I had Senator Congressman.
I saw that video, and it's really funny because we are in North Carolina right now.
He had my video.
Like, really?
He had my video taken down.
At least you know he's watching you.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, really? He had it taken down. The one, I mean, I really went in on him because everything what I said was true. And I got it from newspapers outside the United States.
Right.
Everything I do, you can trace back because I tell you where you can find it. He had that taken down. And it was he had it pegged as disinformation, and it was spam. Now I try to fight it, but he is a congressman, and that's why you lost your seat. You embarrassed the Republican Party, you embarrassed yourself, and you embarrassed the United States on an international level. You're right up there with Amber Heard and Evan Rachel Wood, you fool.
Right?
Okay.
You can't do something and then get upset when people call you out on doing it.
Yep. Like I say, if you do it in public, then it becomes you're allowed to critique, criticize, and videotape it because you're doing it in public.
Yep.
Oh, my channel is Politics with Laura. Oh, Nettie from Norway says Johnny Depp is a hero. As a survivor, I am feeling angry every time. Every time I sense that someone is lying about something so devastating to destroy people, most definitely. Nettie also goes on to say, I think that it is best that I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I need new glasses. I really do. I really do. My glasses are almost 2 years old, and my insurance company doesn't want to pay, and I'm not going to pay $300. I need to start.
I know this website. My best friend wears glasses, and I know this website. She gets them for like $20 a pair. I'll send you the link.
Stop telling fibs. Really?
Yeah. And they have really, really cute ones too, like all different kinds. And the last pair she got was a glow in the dark pair, and I think she paid like $29.99 for them.
Glow in the dark. You know, I would scare everybody.
She doesn't lose her glasses at night anymore.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Please do so, because I need to. I need to get new glasses because I'm just like, okay, all right. Because with my insurance company, I get a huge discount because the prices are going up. I'm just like, okay.
They might take your insurance too, so that might even help. And they have deals like buy one, get one free too, all the time.
Now, I'm blind as all outdoors. I have like bifocals. I can like. Wow, please do that. I really would appreciate that.
No, absolutely.
That's my mom's.
With the Johnny Depp thing and the court thing, that whole thing, I watched the entire case and the entire trial, but I couldn't watch his testimony because it was like triggers, and it was just a lot. It was very heavy, and I was crying a lot, and so I didn't watch it very much. And then watching Amber's, like, I felt so bad for him having to sit there, and like the way she was allowed to just stare at him and look at him, and I just felt like it was taunting. It was just kind of like more abuse.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, completely off topic. But did you hear about the case of the woman? She had a husband, they had split up, and long story short, he had like kidnapped her in her own house, broke into her house, tied her up, did essayed her, did a whole bunch of other stuff. And they were in court for it. And he fired his attorney, like right at, like very soon into it. And they allowed him to cross-examine her himself. Have you heard that story yet?
I'm just trying to get over what you just said.
So this was her husband. They were separating. And they were in court because he had broken into her home, tied her up, beat her, essayed her, took her to another location, beat her, essayed her, and this went on for a while, like different like places and stuff. And the cops actually found him, and he'd like cut his own neck with a knife, and he was strangling her in a car. And so they go to court, and he decides to fire his attorney before she's supposed to be cross-examined at all. And they allow it. Then that comes time for her to be cross-examined, and they allowed him to cross-examine her. That
is on a level of OMG.
I will find the link to part of that video at least to get it started, and I'll send it to you. I just couldn't believe it. I watched it. We were driving across the United States, and I had saved it because I knew it was going to be really heavy, but I watched it, and she handled it amazingly. Like, she did so beautiful, like just total kudos and proud of her. But the fact that it was allowed and how it was allowed and how the things that he was allowed to say and ask her, it was just, my husband was sitting next to me like, what the heck is this? Like, what? Because it was so bad.
Kangaroo Court. Umbrella Archive, how you doing? Oh my goodness. That reminds me, not that horrific, but there was a guy here in Virginia, Northern Virginia. He went bat crazy. And he was walking down the street and just people.
Oh.
And a number of people were unfortunately harmed in that situation. Now, the wild thing is this: he fired his attorney, and he was allowed to cross-examine the people that he injured.
That's insane.
And the wild part was the person was strong enough to say, well, no, you did that to me. You did.
That's kind of how this case went to, the one I'm talking about, because she's like, no, you did this. Well, how do you know it was me? Type of things. And he made her explain, while he's sitting there with a smug look on his face, he made her explain everything he did to her twice.
What a sociopath.
And they allowed it. And I don't know why there's not more of an uproar on that. Because that's just, to me, that's just...
I'm going to tell you why. This was recent, right?
Yes.
Because of this movement here. What they have done with these lies and everything, what they have, I mean, even what Evan Rachel Wood did. That woman took her lie to the point to where a United States representative in the House authored a bill to where California adopted a law based on what she said.
Yep.
Women and men are going to have such a hard time with this level of stupidity, fooldom, and silliness that we have to endure. And now women who are truly being abused, men who are truly being abused, are going to have a difficult time being believed because of this stupidity. In women, we have to call these women out, hold them accountable. Men, if you're going through this, sue them. If they lie on you, sue them.
Tell people at least. Talk to somebody. Find somebody, tell them, because it's a big deal.
Yeah, tell somebody.
Nobody should be hurting anybody, and especially the person that says that they love you. Never.
And like the consequences, there are no consequences. Like a child. If a child gets away with something, they'll do something else. If they get away with that, they'll keep on going until they're stopped. And Oh, goodness gracious.
My ex-husband, he was very, very abusive in every way possible. And getting around his friends and stuff, they would tell me, well, he's never been as good with anybody as he has been with you. Knowing that, like, he had hit me, like, I've got a black eye, like he said, yeah, I hit her. And they're like, well, he hits you less than he hit the others. He cheats on you less than he cheats on the other, type of things like that. Like I was doing good, and they were just completely enabling it. Like, nobody.
What's wrong with people?
There was a night that I had woke up and walked out, and I caught him with somebody else, and the other person was very intoxicated and everything else. And I walked in, I saw it, I went to turn around to leave, and he started attacking me. And his kids were in the house, and it was about 3 or 4 in the morning, and I get to the front door, and he's over me, and he's just hitting me close-fist over and over and over, screaming at me, telling me it's my fault. And the girl had woke up, and she pulled him off of me, and then she took me in the bathroom, and she was like, it's okay, you'll be fine, it's okay. And his daughter, I looked over, and his daughter was standing like 6 feet away watching the whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
And he was permitted to stay. I was told everything would be fine. Yeah, just completely enabled the whole thing. And it just was like, you get to a point where it doesn't, you don't really have anybody to tell it that when you're in a position like that, because like I said, they're like, well, he's been better with you than anybody else.
Okay, it's going to get worse, and I'm going to tell you, in Illinois, they just passed a law in Chicago. I don't know how far I have to get the information, but this is true to where they're dropping bonds on different crimes to where you could kidnap a person, you'll bond out.
Yep.
You can, did you hear about that?
There's a case load, and her name was Marilyn. I can't think of her last name right now, but I'm friends with her on Facebook. But her name was Marilyn, and she had this boyfriend who was stalking her. Her ex-boyfriend was stalking her, and she had contacted police and done everything she was supposed to do, but nobody did anything. And he texted her one day and was like, "It's fun to see you," and she went over to talk to him to get him to stop because she contacted police. Nobody helped her, so she thought that she could go over there and maybe get him to stop. So she gets over there. He opens the front door and just completely cold clocks her, just punches her, and then drags her in. He continues to beat her. He sicks his pit bull onto her. She pulled out a knife that she had brought to try to protect herself. He grabbed it from her, beat her till she was unconscious. She woke up. He said, "Go look in the mirror. Nobody's going to want you now." And she gets up and walks over, and he had, oh, sorry, this one hits hard because I talked to this girl. He had scalped her, and he was sitting there with her scalp in his hand and said, "Here, put it in a plastic bag, put a hoodie on her," drove her about a block away from her mother's house and dropped her off with the plastic bag of her hair. She gets to her mother's front yard. Her sister and her mom come out. They call the ambulance and police and 911 and whatnot. They didn't even know she didn't have any hair or anything because she had a hood on. They opened the bag in the ambulance.
Oh, no,
realized
don't.
It was her scalp.
Don't. Oh, my God.
So they get this guy, and they go to court, and he gets 10 years. That's it. He's out already since it happened.
Well, what they're doing in Illinois is they're not even holding them. Battery, assault and battery, second degree, murder, if you know what I mean. Yes. If you intimidate a public official, there's several different charges that you're going to go to the judge, go right out, and then come back at some later date.
That's crazy.
What's
going to stop that person from going and finishing the job?
Thank you. All of this, okay, how can I say this? All of this We Are the World stuff needs to stop. It must stop. We have to bring something that makes sense, and this does not make sense. I believe that it's a concerted effort to push us to the point until we beg and beg for more stringent laws. They're going to loosen the laws to the point to where everybody's going to act crazy, and then they're going to say, "Okay, we're going to put down a hammer and then rule with an iron fist." Well, no, you just simply enforce the laws that you have and stop making excuses for people's behavior.
I don't think there should be a circus full of carnage before somebody decides that there's a problem.
That's the American way.
And my mother, when I was 14, she was 33 and her boyfriend killed her.
Oh.
And he ended up, having to do the court thing and everything. But with everything, they got him for involuntary manslaughter, gave him 3 years, and he served a year and a half.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away. Well, California is so liberal.
Yeah.
It's so liberal on one hand. Okay, California is strange. California is so liberal on one hand and so conservative on the other.
I think with Hollywood being there has a lot to play with a lot of different things too.
That is a whole. I was too through when Joe Biden went to Hollywood, and I can't remember what he said, but I gotta find that article so I could do it on my other channel. I'm so upset with Joe Biden. I am totally upset, beyond upset. Just beyond upset with that man.
I'm kind of just in awe about a lot of different things. There's so much that's just kind of just like went up in the air right now, like with huge flags saying, "Look at me," and it's kind of hard to look at depending on what you're wanting to look at. With Amber Heard, Epstein, the Kardashians, all of it, it's
too much. It's too much, and it's going to get worse if you don't have anything to hold on to. If you don't have a faith, whatever, it's going to be really bad. But I'm going to tell you something. Here in a DMV area, the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia area, namely in DC, it's to the point to where students can do whatever they want in school. I remember talking to a substitute teacher, and he said a student spit on him, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. And not only with the schools, it's every faction of life that you can think of is going absolutely bananas. I'm sorry, I'm way off topic. Wow, I can't believe that happened to you. That is just awful. And the way things are going, they're laxing the laws. And once, on one hand, they're laxing the laws. Now, this is strange about Illinois. They're laxing the laws as far as criminality. They're laxing that. But when it comes to aboard a ship, I'm going to say it like that, because on my one of my videos, I have a blue banner. It's a blue banner going across. It's so crazy political, you can't even speak. Aboard the ship, you can't have that, or you have to meet these qualifications in order to aboard the ship. But hey, how you doing, Nixie Pixie? But this stuff right here is beyond comprehension. I just don't even know where to begin with this.
Well, all of this is just beyond comprehension and just like, whoa. And it's literally like just the very, very surface and barely even scratched. Like, this is all just starting.
It's going to get crazy. Okay, Nettie said, I'm in Norway so far, so all of my writings may be not so good. It is okay, Nettie from Norway, because my writing, it's not that good either. Don't worry about it.
My speaking's not that good, so it's fine.
Umbrella Archive says, it was very hard to listen to a lot of the testimonies of Amber and Johnny, because I could see myself exactly feeling that way. Yeah. Oh man, Umbrella Archives. You know how I feel about you. And if you don't, just many blessings to you. And Umbrella Archives says, like identical words from Johnny. Those were my thoughts in my head while dealing with what I was dealing. And Nettie Archives of Norway says, the Me Too, I watched out, but I cried with him. And let me see what else. Come on, why don't, okay. And it says, this should not happen ever. Tears running down my face. It's okay. You don't have to have tears going down your face because she's in a better, stronger position. Talking about you, Jessica, a better, stronger position. Better, stronger. So, sometimes when you walk through the worst thing of your life and it goes on for a period of time, there are little pockets that you can hold on to get you through impossible situations. And when you look back on it after when you're out of it and you look back on it, you see where I don't know what your faith is, but what Jesus Christ was right there, just helping you along, getting you through it. And that's just my thought. Um, um, uh,
In the past with my relationship, especially my very last one, I sit back now and I didn't realize how bad some of it was, and still have it. Like, I'm still sitting here thinking about things because it's just 2 years ago, and it like you wonder how you let it get so bad, but then you realize that no matter what, though, you made it out, and not everybody gets to make it out. Like, come on. And I'm in a much better position now, and a lot stronger. And I hate when people say, "Oh, you went through what you went through, and it made you stronger." Like, no, it gave me trauma and bad coping mechanisms. But in the long run, like, I have decided I want to be better, and I want to heal. I don't want to be the victim or poor me or anything like that. And with my daughter and other women around me, I can give them that strength and that hope, maybe. And that's what, I went through what I went through so I can help others.
That is so true.
And my husband, he was in a very, very, very several abusive relationships, but specifically one. And he's been able to talk to me and open up to me. He didn't realize like how much the abuse was because it's so swept under the rug and it's such a stigma. Men can't be abused. And, it's just,
Yeah, I mean, men can be abused and are abused, and when they speak out about it, they're ridiculed. My old man. Oh my goodness. Okay. He was attacked by his ex. His ex that he shares a child with, and she came after him and took a fork and just in his head.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he, reflex just hit her and then took it out of his head. And when he called the police, they were like, "Is that it?"
That's insane.
And that's, I mean, I am so, oh man, it gets me going. And I have a brother. My brother passed. I dealt with the woman that he was dealing with, and a friend of mine, her boyfriend, he abused her pretty good, and she asked for me to stay, but it wasn't until she was ready to let go.
Then that's it.
And
you gotta be ready to let go.
And I was like, oh my goodness, why? But when she asked me to stay, I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, she's ready. She is ready because I used to box in my day. I used to box. So, oh yeah, I got all this fat. Oh, look, I know how to use my fat. I know how to use it, man. I'll make you think about. Let me stop. Let me stop. But I stayed with her for at least about a week. And then when I left, her ex-boyfriend came over, and the guy that was abusing her came and he really dealt with him. So the thing is this, men who do that was allowed to get away with it because they were never dealt with the way they should have been dealt with.
Yeah.
And that is it. And, because he came over when I was there and I just said, hey, how is this going to go? It's going to go one of two ways. How is this going to go? Either you leave or we could just have a conversation right here. And, he was my size too. I said, oh, okay. My height, not my size, but not my width, but my length, not my width, my length. but but I am so glad that you're in a better place. I am so glad that you're getting where you need to be.
It took a while, and I did that go back to him several times, and I did do that. And each time it got worse and worse. And like looking back at it now, like I said, I didn't realize how bad it was. And there are a couple situations that I honestly, not to be dramatic, but I really feel like I was lucky that I was able to leave and I was able to get out alive. And I had a friend named Lisa, and I'd known her since the 5th grade, and she'd gotten in with the wrong guy. And he got her addicted to pills and stuff, and he was beating her and abusing her. And the neighbors and stuff had called the police several times, and none of them ever did anything. And this happened just last year. Her 11-year-old son got up to get ready for school and couldn't find his mom, so he went out to the car, and she was dead in the car. He had beat her to death. And her baby found her. You know, she wasn't one of the ones that was able to get out. And yeah, that one hit really, really hard, and I've known her for so long.
But that right there is just so horrible. And like the thing is this is the horrible thing about it. It's just getting the person out of that situation, and they are so entangled with the honeymoon.
Yeah.
So I'll never do that again. I promise I'll be better. I promise I'll do this. I will change. And then they lull you back into that same situation. Now, I have to say, my old man, I am so lucky. And you're lucky to have me too. You know you're lucky. But he had his issues with his ex, and I'm one of those types of people to where I won't let a woman put her hands on a man in my presence. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen because I don't want him to put his hands on her to protect himself from her. And I will most of say, look, that is not going to happen. You're not going to do this. You're going to act like a lady. Of course, I'm saying different things.
Yeah.
And we don't do things like this, and we're not going to tolerate behavior like this. But same with men. Now, I mean, this is just so difficult. So difficult.
So much stuff that shouldn't happen. And they're always like, well, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? And when I left my ex finally, the really bad with my last one, when I finally left him, my roommate was coming in and waking me up to get up with the kids or whatnot at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And he would be in my bed. He was picking our locks and coming in our room, and and was just coming in our house. And nobody would do anything about it.
And that right there is the thing. People don't get involved for the most part, because when you do get involved and you do try to stop it, then the relationship carries on. Like it carries on. It's like, well, why did I do all this? And not understanding the victimology of it, not understanding the cycle. The cycle of it. And it gets crazy. Like I went back home. I'm from Pennsylvania. And I went back home to my hometown, and I was over my sister's apartment because she was going to come. I was bringing her back down south of where I'm at, and I hear this banging, and I'm like, "What is all that noise?" And she goes, "Oh, that's the guy. He's always, I tried stopping him from having that altercation with his girlfriend." And I'm like, it was like 6 a.m, and I got dressed. I pound on the door and I said, "Hey, look, I'm waiting for you. I'm going to stand outside." I was out there for 5 hours. He never came out. I would knock on the door saying, "I'm still waiting for you." I didn't go anywhere. I mean, I was so mad. I waited for that man. I waited and waited because he beat them. And I'm like, I'm waiting for you because I want you to feel what she's feeling, and it's going
Right.
to come from me because you're gonna feel a woman to do to you to another woman, and I'll be outside and I'll be waiting. I got a chair, and my sister said, "Don't do that." I said, "Oh no, 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 no. He needs to feel this." And I know that is not ladylike. I know I shouldn't have done that. I know I shouldn't have gotten into those people's business.
So you honestly were probably people like you and you doing things like that is a blessing. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, if it's ladylike or whatnot. Sometimes we have to do things out of character. And there was one day that it was me and my ex-husband at the apartment and his two youngest children, which aren't mine, but I took care of them. And he started going off and he lost it and he just started hitting me and throwing stuff at me. And I started yelling for help. And this had happened several times and nobody had ever come or anything, but this one was really bad. And luckily one of the neighbors had heard, and so they went down to the office and told our office lady, whose name was Pam, and she was just an absolute sweetheart. But she came up to the door and knocked on it, and he ran to the door and opened it. And she was like, "What's going on?" And he was like, "Nothing, we're watching TV." And she was like, "No, there's fighting and people are wanting to call the police." And he goes, "We just had an argument." And I grabbed my keys. I didn't even have shoes on. I grabbed my keys and I darted out from under him and I left.
Good.
And because of her, I was able to leave. And about a year later, before I moved out of those apartments, I went down there and I was like, "I just want to thank you because you probably saved me that day and you didn't know about it, but you did. And just so thank you." But if it wouldn't have been for her stepping in, I don't know if we would have stopped that day. You did. You probably were a blessing, and it made him probably think twice. But at least that girl knew that somebody cared enough.
Yeah, I am a double Big Mac. I'm a double Whopper. I mean, if you try to pick me up, I'm going to give you a hernia, a slip disc. Oh man, you're going to need a surgeon when I get done with you trying to pick me up. But oh my goodness, I'm so silly. Oh my goodness, I'm so silly. But it just, stuff like this just, man, it just makes me, it just sends me in a like, I gotta help mode, and I'm one of those people who would physically get involved to stop it. And
a lot of people in those positions, it's really hard for the people that care about them looking from the outside, and they don't understand why they keep going back or why they allow it to happen. And people kind of have to they don't have to, but they throw their hands up,
Yeah.
And they kind of just walk away because they're tired of helping, and then that person just going back or whatever. And then when that person's finally ready, they literally have nobody. Because all the bridges have basically been burned, not purposely, but and so that happens a lot.
Yeah, and like the thing is this, it is such a psychological manipulation to where the one who's doing this consistently reinforces that web of what do you call it? I just said it. The web of the honeymoon ship.
The veil.
Just showing you.
I call it the veil.
The veil showing you, if you stick with me, it can get better. I will get better. This is not who I really am.
You're making me better, and if without you, I'm not going to make it. Type of
yeah, and then once the person that's going through this gets to the point where they're like, look, it's not getting any better. It's actually getting worse. And I just think people like that who abuse like that has a level of narcissism that is off the Richter scale. But, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Nettie from Norway says, thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you. Thank God for her. You're sent by God, giving you a whole bunch of hearts. The day I found your channel, I was so happy. Well, I'm so glad you found me. I'm glad I'm happy that you found me, and I hope that you find my content good. And I know I know we're totally off topic, but not so off topic because this is what Johnny went through.
Yeah.
Johnny went through the same thing. He went through the love bombing. He went through the psychological manipulation. And just because it's a woman doesn't mean it can't happen.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how pretty that woman is. Sorry, that doesn't make it okay.
How you doing, Lexi? I'm sorry. I just got so caught up into what Jessica was saying. And you have a lot of people here who love you. Just know that, Jessica, you are so loved.
Thank you.
You are so loved. And like I said, whenever you go through tragedies, there are little pockets that are surrounding you that you don't see it. But when you get out of it and look back, you're gonna like, wow. Just as you said, I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah.
And that is those little pockets to help you to get from point A to point B. You will get to point B. You will get there. But you have those
people
little
in
pockets.
these situations too, they sit there and tell themselves and everybody else, it's not that bad, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. And they downplay it so much for everybody, and they have to convince themselves of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting out, and you're like, okay, that was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The lady down the street, her boyfriend, she walked up the street crying. And I'm like, what happened? She said she had a black eye. And she said, I want you to call the cops. And I called the police for her. And I said, where is he? She said, he's in my house. I said, how did he get in your house? She goes, oh, but we were outside and he took my keys. I said, oh, man. Oh, my goodness. He took her keys and went into the house. And then they had an altercation. Now, I know the guy. I know him. And I said to him, I said, look, I'm going to tell you something. If I ever see her like that again, just know the next time you see me, it's not going to be pleasant. Keep your hands off of her. And you know who my old man is, because if you get the better of me, then you have to deal with him. He's like, oh, God. I haven't seen him around for a long time. Let me see.
I still hate the fact that the main question people bring up is, why didn't you leave? Instead of, why is he doing this? Why are these people doing this? Why are they being mean? Why are they allowed to be like this?
It is a learned behavior. Okay, behavior like this. Behavior like this it's seen, it's watched. Your ex-boyfriend learned and saw abuse. He learned it. Now, he could have done one of two things. He could have either shied away from it and been like Johnny, to not deal with it like that, to be passive, or as in Will Smith's situation, Will Smith is an actor, his sister is a runner, his brother is an abuser. So when children see this type of dynamic, they internalize it one way or the other.
They either project it onto others, or they think it's okay for it to be done to them.
Because he said that his brother is the fighter, his sister is the runner, and he's the actor. He walked in and he saw his father hit his mother to where she dropped to the floor, and so then he became an actor to try to act him from acting the way he was behaving, doing those things. And I'm just like, wow. Now, I have goodness.
A little bit of a change of subject. Have you heard about like what happened with Brendan Fraser?
Thank you for the change. No, what happened?
So he had gone through his really yucky divorce, and she took him for everything.
I didn't know he was married.
Apparently, she did a bunch of mental stuff too. But he was being SA'd by one of the directors in the movies and stuff. A male. And that's why he kind of fell off for a little bit. He put his weight on and lost hair, and everybody was just giving
go
him
back.
so much crap because of his appearance.
Go
But
back.
nobody was accounting for all of what he went through.
Jessica, go back. You said he was essayed?
Yes.
Wow.
He was being essayed by one of the male directors, I think.
Having that kind of power to do something like that to people, having their job over their head, I'll destroy your career if you don't. Oh my goodness.
He was put through the ringer, and everybody just completely just trolled on him for his looks and everything. Like, oh, look how bad he fell off, and this and that. But it was actually a really, 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 really sad story of what happened to him. And he just came back and did another movie, and I think it was in Wales or somewhere. He was at a ceremony, and he had won, and everybody stood up and applauded for 6 minutes straight to him.
Wow.
And he just sat there and cried because he's been through so much, and nobody took an account for it. Nobody lifted him up. Nobody supported him. You know, nobody was there to be like, this lad, you know, he's hurt. You know, nobody held him while he needed to cry, basically.
And the thing is this, and I'm not taking anything away from women. No, I'm not. But there needs to be more organizations, more groups for men to be able to deal with this stuff, because it is just being violated differently than the way a woman would be violated. It's just, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't even imagine being, you know, a man being abused in that manner. And
as an adult, too. Like, he wasn't a kid. He was a full adult.
And then coming out like that, saying that something like that happened, and then it's like, oh no, you wanted it, or you're a part of this community. Or yeah. And oh wow. Because I haven't seen him in a long time. I was most definitely a big fan of his work. I just didn't.
That's what happened with him. I haven't read on it in a long time, so my memory on it is a little bit blurry, but that's the gist of it, of what happened. Oh, and then there's Corey Feldman, who has been telling some quite tall tales as well.
I mean, okay, Corey Feldman is a hard one for me.
A bunch of stuff, absolutely, but I also feel like he's lying about a lot of stuff, and he tried saying that Marilyn Manson had messed with his music tour, and that he sabotaged it. And I was really curious about it, so I looked it up and I listened to Corey's music and whatnot. And like, he's just out there, and he's got some things against him right now, like his backup dancers and singers that were in his band, and talking about how he is and was with them. And he's trying to throw so many different names under, like the Marilyn Manson one.
Yeah, I Corey Feldman one is so hard for me, because not that I know him personally, no. It was him, the two Coreys. I grew up watching them, and it was like they had resonated with me so much when he got emancipated from his parents. His thank you. His parents. His parents were basically like taking money from him, and his paid for his sister's wedding, which she wound up getting a divorce. Like, I'm paying for all this. And then once he got his emancipation, then his other older sister, but he lived with her, and he just spun out of control, because he had all this freedom, but not only freedom, but he was also having the same issues as Brandon Fraser had, but as a child.
Yes, and I think what happened with him, though, is I think he went the opposite way, and he continued to partake in it. And I feel like he's done some very questionable things, and I've watched a couple of the videos, one of his, so he has his band, and he has the girl. It's only girls that are allowed in it besides him.
Mm-hmm.
And
I get why. I get
they're
it.
treated, but they're treated very poorly.
Oh,
he makes them do all the equipment lifting and everything else, and he refuses. Like he owes all of them money. So many of the women quit because of the SA harassment and a bunch of the other abuse going on. He had animals and stuff like on tour, and the girls were forced to clean up the dog mess and everything else, and they just crazy stuff. And he's got a couple of them are suing him for it because, like I said, they owe him a lot of money. They brought receipts, they have pictures, and all this other stuff talking about things he has done. And
you know the sad part about this, and I'm trying very hard to be objective about Corey Feldman. I really am. And I'm not making excuses. Please don't think I'm making excuses. I'm just simply stating what people have told me when they were violated in that way, especially when they're men.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that there are times to where they become victimizers themselves.
Yes.
Before they can come out like, this was happening to me. I want somebody to feel the way I felt, and I want to put that on somebody. You know.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Jessica. Oh my goodness. You put me on a emotional roller coaster. I went from happy to wanting to and
It was rough for me with the Corey Feldman one because I grew up watching Goonies and I grew up watching Lost Boys and all of those. And so, and I was so happy for him when he started coming out and calling people out from Hollywood and stuff, but then he just kept going. And everything that goes wrong with him is never his fault.
Yeah, some of that does fall on people. But what really got me was Corey Haim's mother said, if you're going to do that, just do it. You don't need to make a movie to do it. But I do get his point because he's saying if I do it, I'm going to get sued and I'll be ruined. I need to be able to protect myself financially, which I do get. Because if you do bring some action like that, you do say something like that, then you're going to have to be able to back it up, especially if you're not going to.
He's not really backed anything up. And I feel like if you have enough there, like he's claiming that Marilyn Manson was obsessed with him and that he was trying to lure him and sleep with him and do all this weird stuff with him. And Corey refused him, so he sabotaged his music.
I don't know. I just Corey, come on, Corey. I don't know because Marilyn Manson does some wild stuff. He was at he sort of jumped up and put his crotch in this and it's not funny. I'm not laughing. I'm just visualizing how crazy that is.
Yeah.
This security guard, this big guy. Why would he would pulverize you.
Right.
And so he sued him, and I think he got I think maybe at least about $200,000 or $300,000 out of it. But it's like, Marilyn, I know you're doing this wild stuff because this is your public persona. Stop it.
But there's some things that we're not in the 80s or 90s anymore. You can't do it.
Yeah, I gotta say, the 80s and the 90s, if you haven't lived in that time era, if you were born 85 and up, you have no understanding of what we're talking about. That was a crazy decade. The 80s was wild. There was big hair. Big hair, drugs, rock and roll. Women were down with any and everything.
Free love and crazy drugs. Like all it was about. And people partied hard.
Yes.
And there are things coming back now because of the internet, and people are being called out for some of their things. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to bring up with you.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember Tiffany Haddish and her husband Aries.
Okay, they're married?
I don't know if they're married or not, but her partner Aries Have you heard any about that and read into that?
Yes, I did. And I have two thoughts on it. Two thoughts. Okay. The one thought is you're sick. You're really sick.
Yeah.
The second thought is parents need to understand what they're showing because this is how children are groomed.
Yeah. And the fact that they were putting those videos on the website that kids go to, the Scare or Die or whatever it's called, and they're uploading those videos. And the video I watched was the one with the little boy. And he's got a newspaper and he's got eye holes cut out of it, and he's sweating, staring at the kid in his underwear. And then the kid's in the bathtub, and the guy is laying sideways, and you just see the kid's head next to his stomach in the bathtub. I could not. I saw that the other day, and I looked it up and did some research, and I just could not believe that.
I can't do it. I mean, I just saw his one video on his comedy act to where he did a video with all these guys, and he's walking around with with his speedos on, his speedo, and he's walking around, and once he gets to the very end of the guys that are there and they're shaking their behinds, and he's really on the edge. He's really on the edge. He takes it to the edge, but I think with this one right here, as it resurfaced, because I think the children, and the mother, the mother, okay. You can't drop your children off and walk away. You just can't do that.
You can't do that.
Jodie Foster's mother. The reason why I believe Jodie Foster is in such a good place, because her mother wasn't playing that. Everywhere Jodie went, she went. The other woman who played in Resident Evil, the woman, she's a Russian actress.
Mila Jovovich.
Her mother was everywhere she went. Her mother went. Her mother was her shadow. And parents are just taking these children and say, here.
Right?
I'm going to go for a coffee break.
Well,
no.
You've got Lindsay Lohan. You've got the Olsen twins. You've got the other girl, I can't think of her name right now, but all of them.
I think about Kim Kardashian, throw her in there too.
You can throw her in there too because, she's warped because of her mother.
I believe if her father stayed alive, this would have never happened. No.
I feel like she capitalized on her daughters, and that's all.
And her husband did nothing.
Paychecks.
Her husband did not. I don't see where her. Well, Caitlyn. Let me put it like that. Caitlyn, to me, did nothing about it. Did not stop it. Enabled. Thank you.
Completely enabled, and it completely grosses me out. And like what I was saying about her mother thought Kim was the prettiest, so she used her. Kendall, nobody thought she was pretty at all until she got her lips done, and like she looks like a completely different person. Chloe was always overweight, so she couldn't use that one, so she took the one she was her favorite, her prettiest one, and here, get more implants, and here, make this video, and here, do this.
That is wild. I look at Kim, and Kim looks like somebody just assembled her.
Right? Exactly. She looks like she was made in a factory.
Arms, legs, feet, fingernails, hair.
You know, I'm total one for like body modifications, tattoos, piercing. Even if you want to do implants and whatnot, that's fine. But there's like a limit to it. And when she is in a bathing suit, she does not look good. She looks weird to me. I don't think it looks good at all. Oh, and then I don't know if you heard, but with Kim Kardashian for wearing the Marilyn Monroe dress.
Huh?
Did you hear? She wore Marilyn Monroe's dress to the Met Gala.
Wait a minute. Marilyn Monroe has a dress?
Marilyn Monroe, the dress that she wore when she sang Happy Birthday to the president.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm sorry. I don't know how I got Marilyn Manson. I was like, what?
Oh,
Marilyn
yes.
Manson? What? I'm sorry.
Yes, Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe's dress that she had sewn onto her when she sang "Happy Birthday" to the president.
Mm-hmm.
That dress was owned by Ripley's Believe It or Not. They bought it for a couple $1 million. Well, Kim decided that's what she wanted to wear to the Met Gala this year. And they allowed her to do it. And she completely ruined the dress. And then they gave her a piece of Marilyn Monroe's hair, which to me was just really weird. And they handed it to her. She's like, I'm going to go home and do some voodoo with this. And I just thought that was kind of weird of her to say on like live TV with how people think of them and stuff. But so she wore this dress. I'll send you, if I can find it, I'll send you like the video or the pictures of it. She completely just this dress is done for. And it's sad because the material that this dress was made out of doesn't even exist anymore. And the dress was literally sewn onto Marilyn Monroe. Well, she's decided that on this next thing that she's doing, she wants to wear one of Selena's dresses. And yeah.
Hold on for a second, Jessica. Cindy Miles says Kim K was an adult. She had a choice, and she decided to do what Kim wanted her to do.
Kim was an adult, yes, but she was raised by Chris her whole life, and she was subjected and forced to be certain ways. So, to a point, yeah, like Kim, right now, Kim's doing the things that she wants to do, and it's on her, but I don't think she would be the person she is today if it wasn't for her mother's, pull and everything.
Yeah, not Kim, but Chris is not only a manager, but in my opinion, by her daughters. You're going to be able to have an influence over your children to do a lot of things, and parents do horrific things to their children, which at some point the children can forgive. Now, yes. What Chris did, I mean, putting her out there like that, in my opinion, first of all, putting her on birth control. All right. What was Kim's behavior for her to be on birth control?
Right.
And then have her hanging out with Paris Hilton. And Paris had this tape out that was leaked and that put her to stardom, which gave an idea.
Yep.
And then, I mean, it's just a rabbit hole of stuff.
Like I said, I feel like everything is just, the surface is just being scratched. And Ray J is just the first one to come out against the Kardashians.
Oh, man. I think if Black China...
Oh, the Black China thing, yeah.
What's my... I'm sorry, my phone is all... Yeah, Black China. Now, Black China's mother, Tokyo Toni, she was really exposing a lot of stuff about them, which I believe had a little bit to do with Black China losing her case, because her mother just kept on throwing stuff out there. And they were like, well, we're afraid of Tokyo Toni being here. We're afraid of her. I'm just like, please.
Right.
Not afraid.
No.
But Black China, she may be able to come back and relitigate that, but she made a whole lot of money last year.
Mm-hmm.
And just blew them out the water. I'm just like, wow. I mean, but hey, you make your money the way you know how to. I'll just leave it as that.
Yeah.
But Nettie said from Norway, she was 1974. Yes, the Goonies. And says, if it were so easy, we would be so much better. I was married for 2 years. There was a lot of bad words and punching down, and oh man, I'm so sorry. One night
that happened, you love.
Oh man, there's just a lot of, but I'm just glad that people are being able to get where they need to be.
Having the internet and stuff has definitely helped a lot. Like I have found like you and then the community that is here, super supportive. And I have friendships that are stronger of people that I've never met in person, but I've known for 20 years that I've met online. We continue to talk and stuff like that. And so I feel like the internet has been a blessing and a curse. We're all here able to talk to each other and, kind of come together, and then we all do our own research for everybody else. And I'm really hoping that it continues that way and that just more and more comes out, because it's going to get worse before it can get better.
Yep, that's how it always is.
And I feel like things with Hollywood and Disney and stuff has just gone on for way too long. There's too much that's just not okay.
And when I think about just what people are willing to do to make some money, I think,
man, just to be seen or to be heard.
Man, I think about situations like R. Kelly. The parents, why aren't the parents being sued?
Right.
Okay, you got him, fine. But who was supplying? The parents.
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm not going to get angry.
I don't understand how people just don't protect their children anymore like they used to. And so many people use their offspring like they own it. And like with my children, they're my babies. And everything I do is going to be for them. Like Britney Spears, I'm sorry, but any normal person did half the stuff that Britney Spears does online, and they would have their kids removed so fast, and so many people would be calling them horrible names about what kind of parents they were. But it's okay that Britney does it, and it's okay for Britney to say that she needs to make herself first and mother second, and she's got these people that are enabling it. But if it was me, and I said, you know what, kids, I give you too much attention, it's pathetic, and you don't respect me as a woman, I'll tell you when I want to see you.
I have a message for you. Nettie says, Jessica, 100% agree with you. I did not have the courage to go to court, but I had to get away. And also, Black Pop 00 says, sending love to all of you who had to deal with this abuse like this. You are strong.
Honestly, going to court, not that big of a deal. I never took mine to court, and I had a lot of evidence and witnesses, and I could, but I just wanted to be gone, rid of it. I didn't want it to be there anymore. I didn't want to fight anymore. And you got out. You made that decision. You stood up and you got out, and that is so commendable, and you are so strong for that, and I'm proud of you for that.
The biggest phrase one can say is no more.
Exactly.
No more. Once you get to that point to no more, there will be no more.
And nobody, no matter what, nobody ever deserves to be treated in that way, ever. No matter what. There's never an excuse. You're not wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You're beautiful. You're amazing. And there's something wrong with them. They are missing something inside of themselves.
And I want to make sure that I'm clear, because it seems like that I'm hard on women. No,
not at all.
I'm hard on everyone.
You're hard on the women that are stepping out wrong.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. I really come down hard on them, because women like that, they have children, and then they teach their children that behavior, which leads to people like Amber Heard. And Evan Rachel Wood was allowed to be that. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then I look at Will Smith. Oh man, I just think of Jada Pinkett Smith, and I'm just like,
I think he is in a very abusive relationship. I think she has him so far mind gone that there's not really much of him even left.
I mean, how can one be married, have children with a man, and then you're over there talking about Tupac,
right? Reading love letters from Tupac,
and then having your daughter. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Then having your daughter.
Yep.
Talk about how you're not gone, you're not really dead. Come back and make me and my mommy happy.
What?
Why?
I
Yes,
see that.
I did a video on it. I showed the letter.
God.
I can't. That's about what? I don't know. So I think I did about 2 or 3 months ago.
Well, her little quote unquote entanglement that she had with the kid, basically, he was 19, August. She totally manipulated him. She used him. And then she sat on live TV with Will and laughed about it. Oh, my entanglement. And oh, whatever. As he sat there and cried.
And the
How
thing,
sick do you have to be to pull this up on, I would, if I ever made some kind of mistake like that, and I had to talk to my husband, I definitely wouldn't want the whole world to see, and I wouldn't be giggling about it. Oh, my little indiscretion. My entanglement. That was just...
okay, Cindy says Kim was 23 when her father passed away. So I do not believe he would have been okay with Kim treating Chris treating the daughters. No, I don't think so at all, because that wouldn't have happened. That would have been completely different. And Nettie says, oh, okay, I already said that one. But yeah, it's just so wild, the level of. Now you see, there's some info coming out about Will. I don't know how true it is, but
Yeah.
I can't say anything until
Alleged.
I can't say anything, until something is written. Everything what we're talking about has been written.
Yeah.
So I have to wait. I mean, I know Jada is not happy at all. I know
she's made that very publicly obvious.
Very miserable, and I just don't think
it's sad because Will had sat there and he had supported her when she had her little death metal music group. He was going to her concerts and
she had a music group.
He had stood up with her and everything through her whole entanglement. He has jumped through every hoop she has made. He has a career that she's kind of just milked off of. Like the only movie I really remember her in was Scream, and that's when she very first, in the movie theater and get stabbed. She spent like 5 minutes in that movie.
Oh, she was in Matrix 3.
Oh, see, I didn't even.
Yeah, she was in Matrix 3. Keanu Reeves was just phenomenal in that.
Oh, he's always nice.
I mean, he just had, okay, digressing, but she's not an A-lister. She just simply isn't. You have to do what you're good at. You can't force it.
Like the Amber Heard to Will Smith.
Now here I'm trying to think. Who is the architect? Is it Angelina Jolie, or is it Jada Pinkett Smith? I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith has been in it longer, and her just.
I feel like Jada Pinkett Smith is way worse. I used to love Angelina Jolie. I really, really did. But after all the new stuff, I do not. But I think Jada Pinkett Smith, what she's done, she's gone public and she, she gets money off of saying, hey, I had an affair with this guy, and I think that their family is very weird anyways. There's just always been something off to me with how their children are and how, it's just off to me. There's something going on with that. And I feel like we can sit and speculate, but I feel like it's going to come out eventually. It's slowly coming out now. Either Will get tired of it and he'll come out and speak, or things will just get more and more obvious.
No, I think maybe Jada may. I think Jada may. Because Will already said we're in it forever, bad marriage and all.
And I mean, he stuck to his word. He stuck by her regardless.
That I mean.
It's sad too, because to find a man that loves you like that, that's harder to find these days anyways. And the fact that it's being wasted and used, like that's why a lot of guys aren't the way they are, because something like this has happened, and so they turn cold. They go the opposite way. They start being that way too. And I feel like Jada Pinkett Smith is one of those. And then the Olivia Wilde thing too, and with her husband Jason Sudeikis.
I don't know who they are.
So Olivia Wilde and they're both actors and actresses. And Olivia, she decided she wanted to make a movie, and it was supposed to have Shia LaBeouf in it. And he ended up quitting, and then she went and tried to say that she fired him because of all this other stuff. And he showed up with receipts, like all these texts from her and video messages from her, talking crap about the other people that are supposed to be in this movie and stuff, and begging him not to leave. And so she ended up hiring Harry Styles while she was sleeping with him on set. Like, they had a trailer, and the whole, like, all of the cast felt very uncomfortable because the trailer was literally rocking.
Wow.
And apparently she was giving some kind of speech to something, and she ended up getting served court papers that were from Jason Sudeikis. Now, he did not purposely do it while she was on stage or anything like that. They've been separated, and he hired somebody to do it. They found her at the time and handed her the paperwork while she was on stage. So since then, she has started completely bad-mouthing him. She's been telling a lot of different lies about people. And the first start of it coming out was Shia LaBeouf making a video and was like, no, this isn't what happened. I wasn't fired. She didn't do that. This didn't happen. I quit because of this. And here's all the videos and everything.
You know, people are not smart, especially when people who are doing wrong, and then when
people too.
Are not smart at all, especially when you do things that leave a digital print. You send an email. They're not smart at all.
There's just so much coming out right now.
Yeah.
Like, so much. And like the Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis thing, that one's really, really slow compared to like Evan Rachel Wood, Amber Heard, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's just the other thing of like, look what's happening. And these women think that they can just stand up and say it, and because they said it, it is. Like Evan Rachel Wood say it in court. Well, this is my evidence. I said it.
How delusional do you have to be? That look, I read. You know, I looked in all the declarations. I looked at everything. I'm still not done bringing things out about this case. But she said, I said it. So don't look at his evidence. Look at mine, because I said it. Because I graced you. I can hear you. Sorry about that. I graced you with my presence.
Right.
So since I'm here, take this, because I made a movie about it. Look at the movie.
Yeah.
Delusional.
Oh, I got other people to say it. You want paper proof? We don't need that. We wrote it down. We said it.
I mean, you know, I thought that they were going to bring the people that worked on the Phoenix Rising, because there was one lady that was there. Oh man, Evan used the mess out of that poor girl. She used the mess out of her.
Brighton.
No, Brighton is Ilma's sister.
Though, but what Ilma did to Brighton, like both of them, they're just.
I mean, look. Like I said, sometimes water is thicker than blood, and Ilma is that case right there.
Ilma is like Evan's Eve. Is kind of how I look at it. And I feel like Evan feels like she is like the goddess of Earth. Like she is humanity's gift. She's just beautiful and a voice of an angel, and she's so talented, and she's so perfect.
Yeah, she is freakishly talented, especially the way she did Alanis Morissette. I'm like, wow.
It is so sad. Again, I was a huge fan of her ever since she did her first movie, 13. And I always just thought she did a movie called Across the Universe, and She can sing. She is absolutely beautiful. She can act. She has made her own career. She has a career. She has talent. She's not Amber, who's just a leech. And she's, honestly, it sucks to say it, but I hope she loses it all with all of this, because Marilyn has lost so much because of it.
Yeah, I think she should most definitely pay for what she has done, but not only that, to apologize to all the people that got wrapped up into this.
Yes.
And you know what's interesting is I think that Evan Rachel Wood is a method actress to where she becomes the person. And people like the guy on what is that, Black Panther, the guy who played Killmonger. Due to my understanding, after when he played that part, he had to go through therapy to become unlike Killmonger. Like Nick Nolte was also a method actor.
Yeah.
And to be an alcoholic, he was getting slobber knocker drunk. And if you look, if you look at that mugshot, oh my goodness, he became the alcoholic to where he got a charge and his hair is sticking up and he's like, just like, wow.
That's like Heath Ledger.
Man.
That one, he got into that one deep.
Okay, I got let me see. Lexi Pixie said 100, 100, 100. Nettie said, let me see. Nettie said, I did not know that. I did not know Ilma stated she had a twin. Yeah, that really got me. I didn't know she had a twin either. And the Black Pope 00 said, Evan also did a movie where she made false allegations. Oh. Wow.
I hope that with court that Marilyn Manson is able to beat them, and that afterwards he goes after the people who made who helped her make the Phoenix Rising on all that. I hope he goes after all of it.
I see him doing it.
I think it's absolutely insane that these people are writing these letting these biographies happen and everything, and these movies happen about this horrible abuse that's happened to them, but it's literally just their word. There's no proof, there's no nothing, and they're putting it out on these people globally, not even thinking about the repercussions this might have on that person if it's not true. And if it's not true, oh well, they'll get over it, and that's like what it's looked like, and it's not.
Okay, but that has an origin. That behavior has an origin.
Yeah.
When we allowed, let's go back. I know that I know you are not as old as I am, but I remember when women were allowed to get away with telling little itty bitty lies here. Oh, it's okay. She said she was sorry. She won't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then that happened in the 80s because men would say, "You're not going to lie on me. You're not going to tell that lie, expose a lie." The woman would go ahead and go in the room and cry, and then made her be a better person. But there was something within the 80s, the 70s, the 80s. I'm a 70s baby. The 80s and the 90s to where I saw the entitlement start. The 2000s, it got really outrageous to where you had songs like "Nothing's Going On But the Rent." What are you going to do? What have you done for me lately? It's all about me, me, me. It was in the music. It was in the air. And we just zapped that up. And now we have delusional women like Amber Heard and Evan Rachel Wood.
It's a real pandemic. It really is. This whole Me Too thing started out as something that should have been a great cause, and it's literally turned into something just so horrible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also,
people used it as their advantage, and it's gross. But it's like Britney Spears yesterday decided to go on a fat shaming rant on like 2 or 3 different rants.
Oh.
And then she wrote a post saying, "Oh, I wasn't fat shaming Christina. I was just saying this." And people were like, "See, she's sorry. She didn't mean it. It's okay."
Christina Aguilera?
Apology, and she absolutely did fat shame. She posted a picture that says, "I found out that the best way to feel the best way about myself or something was to hang out with fat people."
And who was she talking about? Christina Aguilera?
Okay, so it started out that she was pissed off that they didn't Photoshop her Pepsi billboard, so she looked way old and like she felt like she looked 80, and she was so ugly from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was watching music videos of Christina Aguilera and noticed that her dancers were bigger than Britney's dancers, and Britney would have looked better on stage if she would have had dancers like Christina's, because they were bigger. And then like around that time, it was like a picture, like one of like the things that you can like share,
Mm-hmm.
and it said the best way the way I feel best about myself is hanging out with fat people or something like that. It was in that context.
I think, and this is only a thought, just only a thought. It's simply my opinion. When Christina Aguilera, what was asked about what Britney was going through, Christina never said anything about it. She's like, and walked away. So that's Britney, in my opinion, getting back at her like, we came up together. We went through Disney, we did all this together. And in my time of need, you don't even help me? Oh my goodness. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Black People Pope 00 said, look up the trailer, pretty persuasion. And let me see. Nettie says, what is the time with you? Oh, the time here is it's 4:38 p.m. Let me see if you're doing military time. Let me see, that'll be 1,600 hours and 38 minutes. I hope I'm right. But I'm gonna have to wrap this up.
Alrighty.
And I want to thank you. I want to thank you because we talked about everything, but still, it may not seem like that we were on subject, but we were. We were talking about what Amber Heard and Evan Rachel Wood were doing. Amber Heard was more the abusive one, and Evan Rachel Wood was more the psychological one. So even though it may not seem like it, if you go back and listen, we stayed on topic.
Pretty much too, because it's bigger than just those two, and it goes, to all of everything.
Let me see. Nettie says, "Oh, afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon, evening, and okay, yes, afternoon, Jessica." And Nettie says, "It sounds all right." Okay, well, thank you. Much love back. How do you do this? I can't ever do the love sign. I'm doing wrong. I have to learn these cameras. Am I doing it right? No.
Yes, just like that.
Okay, thank you. Oh my goodness, I'm so silly. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome, Nettie from Norway. And Jessica, I cannot thank you enough. I cannot thank you. Thank you for
having me once again.
Oh, most definitely. You saved my bacon, and I thank you. Okay, turkey bacon. I can see people making jokes out of that one. Yeah, she's talking about pork. I knew it.
Well, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
And I want to thank Jessica for that wonderful call. And we touched on many, many topics that is so relevant in what things and what people are going through. Because Evan Rachel Wood and Amber Heard, the two train wrecks and the passenger. Not Evan, but Eve Barlow was most definitely the passenger, and she got off. She got off the train, so she left. So everything what we talked about is so relevant in what people are going through. And even though that they are stars and they make a lot of money, everyone goes through the same thing to different degrees. Some are worse and some aren't. But having said that, I want to thank you. I want to thank all of you because you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And one thing you can never get back, and that is time. And you've been here with me for 3 hours, 9 minutes, and 9 seconds. And I cannot thank you enough. On that note, take care. Okay, bye, Nettie from Norway. I really appreciate you. Jessica, thank you so much. Black Pope 00, thank you. Lexi Pixie, thank you. Cindy Miles, thank you. Just want to thank all of you. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Umbrella Archive, thank you so much as well. Oh my goodness, just thank you. Bye bye.